The Canyon Cougars opened the new-look Cougar Stadium tonight, coming off a loss last week to Austin area power Cedar Ridge. While showing promise on both sides of the ball last week, Coach Muchagimba is hoping for his team to take a big step forward as district play looms in just 2 weeks. Tonight, the Cougars welcomed their neighbors from 10 minutes north on I-35, the San Marcos Rattlers, a team showing year-by-year improvement under head coach Mark Soto, with promising plans of their own for 2017. It's the Canyon Cougars and the San Marcos Rattlers coming up next on the Cougars Network.
Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Comal Independent School District, Frost Bank, Nissan of New Braunfels, Wick Productions, Ashley, Zaxby's, and Texas Tractor Country.
Where Zaxby's is from, everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And now you'll like it even more because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Well, I don't think so.
It's a good deal, right?
Coach, this is a 2538, 37 horsepower, most lift capacity of any tractor in its class, and no depth fluid.
Well, the best part is it's the right color.
Tom Brady, that's a mic drop.
This is football, and this is how it is.
Let's just get right to it.
Start your game day with Game Day Morning, football's first pregame show every Sunday.
Watch NFL Network, GVTC Digital Cable Channel 579. GVTC, just plain smart.
Canyon Cougars now come through their banner on the near side of the football field, getting set for the game this evening. The unsung heroes, unfortunately, sometimes that offensive line, but all the contributions of 317 total yards in last week's game for the Rattlers. 256 of those were on the ground. You know you've got to lean on that offensive line to help blast open those holes to get your running backs and your quarterback with the football.
You know, some of the storylines from last week, Roland, carry over into this week when we talked about our opponent. And I'm not just talking about the jersey colors being purple here, but when you look at San Marcos and Cedar Ridge, both good teams had good regular seasons last year, early exits in the playoffs. San Marcos bowed out in the first round to Stony Point last year, 40-35. So big picture for San Marcos. They're looking to set the ground and the tempo here in pre-district, set them up for district and a long playoff run.
Absolutely. They did have a great season, and I know things very excited as I look down at the field in the area right now. The Canyon faithful are here ready for the first home game of the 2017 campaign, and we're just about set to get this thing kicked off.
The Canyon High School Navy Junior ROTC cadets are on the field presenting the colors. That's our cue to step aside for our national anthem when we come back. Kickoff tonight's ball game between the Cougars and the Rattlers.
The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
If you bank at Frost, we'll help keep your money safe. If you use your Frost debit card, the chip will make it more secure. If there's a suspicious transaction on your card, you'll get an alert. If you do, you can freeze your card with the Frost app. If you lose your phone, Touch ID login will help keep the app secure. Of course, if all you need is help from people who care, we've got that too.
Welcome back to Cougar Stadium. Kickoff moments away. It was a nice video display we had up here on the brand new Cougar Stadium scoring board that they have up here.
That is beautiful. Absolutely. I mean, the colors are vibrant. If you get a chance, you need to come out and take a look at this. And, while you're here, enjoy some high school football. It'd be great to have you in the house.
All part of new things going on here at Canyon High School. Of course, the Cougars Network with myself and Roland Ruiz and the Governor Austin Milam. And we like to thank Wick Productions for being a part of that. Got the new scoreboard and a brand new turf here at Cougar Stadium. It's artificial next turf. It is green. They've chunked the red turf that had been here for a couple of years. They have the red interlocking CC logo at midfield. The west end zone has Canyon painted in red, and the east end zone has Cougars painted in red. Canyon is in their home jerseys tonight. Red pants, red jerseys, white numbers, white helmets with no decals on the side. And no, check that. They did put decals on for this game. It is the red interlocking CC on both sides. San Marcos is in their road jerseys, gray pants, purple piping down the legs, gray jerseys, purple numbers, purple helmet. One side of the helmet has a white Texas decal on it. The other has the player's jersey numbers. I'm sorry about that, Roland. The Cougars won the toss, elected to defer, so they'll be kicking from right to left to start this ball game.
And we'll tee it up and get things set for the home debut of the 2017 season for the Canyon Cougars.
Deshaunbre Brown and Jamone Johnson are in deep receiving for Canyon. They're standing at their 5-yard line. Set to kick off for the Cougars, and what a game he had last week. The kicker, Jacob Martinez, 5'8", 155-pound junior. Right footer has it teed up. He's going to have an 8-yard charge into this one. Seagulls to the men on the outside, and this game is underway. It is a squiggling kick that goes out of bounds. Here to the near side, ball went out at about the 13, so San Marcos is going to have the ball after this illegal procedure penalty in good field position. Roland, our first look at Prudy Calderon, the 6', 188-pound senior quarterback, dual threat, completing 52% of his passes on this very young year. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but as we mentioned in pregame, he's going to beat you with his legs.
Absolutely, and it'll be up to that Canyon defense to key in and stop that Rattler run.
17 carries, 155 yards, 3 touchdowns to Calderon's credit. Last week in a 28-0 win over East Central. Calderon will come to the line of scrimmage with Jamone Johnson to his left. 2 receivers to the far sideline, 1 to the near hash marked at the 30-yard line. Calderon out of the shotgun. Hand off to Johnson here, coming to the near side. The Cougars are there, stringing it out, and that's going to go down for a loss. Amongst others, we have Zach Feinstein and James Perez in on coverage.
Absolutely. Cody Lee's also coming over to put a big hit on the San Marcos running back, stopping him for no gain.
They're going to give him a loss of 2 as they mark the ball now at the 28. 2nd and 12 for San Marcos. 4 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Johnson to the left of Calderon, who's back to pass here on 2nd down. Pocket collapses. Cougars let him out of his grasp. He's going to run down to the left, and Canyon is not able to get him down as he shakes another tackle across the 30 to the 35, finally forced out of bounds. You saw what Calderon could do with his legs there, breaking a couple of tackles and getting upfield for a gain of 7.
That's right. They should have had him pinned well back beyond the line of scrimmage, but credit Cody Lees once again for coming over and putting a hit on Calderon, the San Marcos quarterback.
First 3rd down opportunity of this ball game. 11 minutes left to go here in the opening period. Opening possession for San Marcos, but they are facing a 3rd and 5. Calderon sets up a little screen pass to the near side that is caught by Carlos Hernandez. Hernandez trying to turn upfield and is unable to. Got past the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 3. He's going to be shy of that 1st down marker. They'll spot the ball at the 39, 4th and 1, the decision time here for Coach Mark Soto.
And who do we talk about pregame defensively but Zach Feinstein? What a big pop to stop the San Marcos offense from picking up that 1st down.
The Rattlers, you got to watch out for fake here. 4th and 1 will send on Alfredo Hernandez, the punter. Deep receiving, Vance McKay. It's a low snap, but Hernandez has it. It's a high punt, and McKay's going to have to come up, signal fair catch, and make it at the 36-yard line. So good start for the Canyon Cougars defensively, force a 3 and out and give their offense some pretty good field position. Xavier Perez will get the ball to start after a 25-yard punt.
And we'll see what that Canyon Cougar offense has in them. As we were talking about last week, they were moving the ball effectively on those first couple of drives. See if they still have that same scheme going this evening.
5'11", 185-pound junior quarterback is Xavier Perez. He starts out of the shotgun with 2 receivers, one to the left, one to the right. The one here on the near side is Lane Young, as Seth Haney is to his right. Perez back to pass. It's a curl route to the far sideline. It's caught by Isaiah Scott. Scott hauls it in, is fighting to get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll move the ball up 2 yards to the 38.
There we go. Just again, quick, and that time to the outside. Just get them in little bits and pieces. And march that ball down the field.
Isaiah Scott on the far sideline as a receiver. The slot receiver on the far side is Trevor Pate. Here on the near side is Fabian Facundo out of the pistol. Perez is working. He'll give the handoff. No, fake to Haney and goes to Pate to the outside. He breaks a tackle across the 40. Going to be shy of the 45. I think they'll give him the 44. And a nice play there to Trevor Pate.
There we go again, as we talked about. Fake the handoff and find Pate, who once again was Johnny on the spot, right in the right place at the right time.
3rd and 2 for Canyon in this up-tempo offense. Out of the gun for Perez, Haney to the right. 2 receivers remain. That's Young and Pate to the far sideline, the boundary side of the field. 9:30 left to go here in the opening period. Opening possession for Canyon after the defense forced a 3 and out. Perez changing the play at the line of scrimmage, retreats back to the shotgun. Slap of the hands, gets the snap, looks to the far sideline. That's Pape again. A nice little curl route into Rattler territory across midfield. A simple hitch and pitch out to Trevor Pape.
And that's why he's there. Get those all-purpose yards, and a great job. Move the chains. It's first down for the Cougars.
Ball resting at the Rattler 49 as this offense is starting to get into an early groove. Haney now to the left of Perez. Perez takes the snap, fakes it to Haney, comes on the slant route to Facundo, and Facundo makes the grab into deeper Rattler territory across the 40 to the 35, and this Cougar offense wants to go up tempo again. Another Cougar first down.
Absolutely nice slant route that time. Moving the change once again.
Quickly, the Cougars come to the line. Perez has it now. He's going to give the ball to Haney. No, he fakes it. Goes to the right side, does Perez. Dives forward to the 30 before being met by a couple of Rattlers. That's a good play for first down. That is a 6-yard gain.
Gabe Urrutia coming over from his defensive line position to make the stop for the Rattlers.
2nd down and 5 now. Ball resting at the 30-yard line. Going right to left. Perez back to pass. Pump fake to Facundo. Now they give it to him in the back corner of the end zone, and that ball is incomplete off the hands of Fabian Facundo. Roland, they have the slant and go working for him, and the ball just goes off his fingertips.
Right, had that ball, and we saw a couple of blown opportunities like that last week. They're going to have to convert on chances like that and put some points on the board.
I said back corner of the end zone. I meant front corner of the end zone, as that was just across the goal line. They took a shot there on 2nd and 5. Still manageable here for 3rd and 5 as Perez gets the call here from the home sideline. 3 receivers now to the near side. That is Lane Young, Trevor Pape, and Colin Farr from left to right. To the right side of Perez is Seth Haney. Back to pass, looking to the left side, and delivers on the slant pass is Perez, and that ball is in and out of the hands of Lane Young. Would have been enough for a first down if there's some extracurricular activity between Young and DeMarcus Hall, but the referees come in to separate them, and it'll be 4th and 5.
Again, just like Facundo a couple of minutes ago, Young needed to look that ball in. He might have just taken his eyes off the football there momentarily, but he had a first down that time.
It would be a 47-yard field goal from here for Jacob Martinez. Remember, gone is Reeves Munchau, the kicker from last year. The offense stays on the field, 4th and 5, now out of the shotgun. Perez under pressure as the Rattlers brought a blitz, unable to escape from it, and Perez is down. He tried to throw the ball away at the last second. The referees said his knee was down, so the Cougars, after forcing a 3 and out defensively, have a pretty good offensive drive going, but the drive stalls, and the Cougars turn the ball over on downs.
Could have, should have, would have. They're going to, hopefully they don't have a chance to look back on those two drops and say, well, if we would have only held on at those, to the football that when the ball was thrown at that point in the first quarter, But we'll see how that comes back and plays out to the remainder of the contest.
It's a loss of 13 on that fourth down play. Prudy Calderon has the Rattlers in pretty good field position for their second possession of the ball game. Ball resting at their own 43-yard line. Two receivers to the near side. One to the far as he sends a man in motion. That's Julian Perez, the H-back. They give the ball up to middle to Jamon Johnson. And Johnson's able to get about 5 yards to the 47-yard line, perhaps. And second down upcoming for San Marcos.
Antonio De Leon looked like got up off the bottom of that pile, making the stop for the Cougars.
8 minutes left to go here in the opening period. No score. Second possession of the ball game for San Marcos. Ball on the far hash. Out of the shotgun, Calderon gives it to Johnson up the middle, and he broke through that Cougar line. Now in the secondary, running free. Across the 30 to the 25, finally brought down from behind. That's good hustle play there by Eric Taylor, the defensive end.
Yeah, I think that might have been one too many jukes. He could have possibly taken that one to the end zone, but the fact that he cut back gave Taylor a chance to recover and stop him.
Never want your defensive end making tackles downfield like that. 1st and 10, San Marcos is to give the ball to Johnson again. Tries the left side of that Rattler line, and is maybe 2 down to the 23-yard line.
That's right, getting up from the bottom of that pile, Josh Kaiser came over and put a stop on the San Marcos running back.
You know, it's good to see him in the starting lineup today, Roland. He had to leave the game versus Cedar Ridge early due to injury, so nice to see that he has recovered and is giving the Canyon Cougars some pretty good minutes defensively. Second down and 8 for San Marcos, moving left to right. Two receivers here to the near side, one to the far, as Calderon's going to roll to the far sideline, turns across his body, fires, and has a man at the 10-yard line. That ball is caught incomplete at the 10, I believe. The receiver there is number 8, Elijah Akins. Check that. That is 5. Natividad Aldana.
But either way, it moves the chains for San Marcos. They'll give him a first down for 10.
First and goal, Rattlers threatening here on their second possession. Hand off to Johnson out of the shotgun, and that is stuffed. Eric Taylor roping him down and bringing him to the turf. No gain on a first down.
Yeah, Johnson's had success carrying the football, but hats off to Eric Taylor. Big hit to stop him for no gain.
Eric Taylor did not start last week versus Cedar Ridge, but you saw the production he had. And the 6'1", 175-pound senior has earned the start tonight versus San Marcos. Open set for Calderon, two receivers to the left, three to the right. The Cougars bring a blitz, and they get to Calderon in the background. What a play. Martin Davis, the inside linebacker, coming in and dropping Calderon.
I tell you, this Cougar defense right now is tightening up. They've made a couple of big stops.
It's a loss of 10 after the sack by Davis. A well-timed blitz there by the Cougar defense sets the ball back at the 20, now 3rd and goal. We have not seen the kicker this year, Francisco Menchaca, attempt any type of field goal last week. He was 4-4 on extra points. But we'll see what happens here. 3rd and goal from the 20. Calderon has one man in the backfield. That's Johnson, but he's back to pass. Cougars bring pressure again, and Calderon slips from it. Goes to the far sideline across the 15 to 10. Dives at the 5-yard line, and he is hit out of bounds. Fabian Facundo in there making contact for Canyon. It's going to be shy of the end zone, but 4th and goal coming from the 5.
Well, possibly a bend but don't break defense that time by the Cougars, keeping them out of the end zone. We'll see what the decision is by the Rattlers if they decide to go for it or bring on the kicking team.
They're going to leave the offense on the field here. 20 seconds on the play clock. 4th and goal. Can the Canyon defense hold here? Out of the gun, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Calderon comes to the right, fires the ball towards the end zone, and that ball is deflected. Vance McKay making the deflection as the pass was intended for 33 Israel Romero, the tight end. The Canyon defense bends, rolling, but they do not break. They force a turnover on down.
Exactly, Ben, and right here is where the Cougar offense has to feed off of that big defensive stand that the Cougar defense just put on.
Both coaches have elected to keep their field goal kickers on the field. Now, you might understand the situation for Canyon. New kicker, 47-yard attempt, but Roland, that was very makeable. At that point would have been about a 23-yard attempt. Nonetheless, the Cougars defense holds and the offense comes out. 1st and 10 from the 5. Perez will hand off. That's Owen Worley. Worley is trying to spin his way up the middle of the field, and maybe he gets 2 yards.
Well, at least, I mean, his forward momentum bouncing off of tacklers to get a couple of yards. Michael Vargas over making the stop that time for San Marcos.
Perez on that opening possession was 4 of 6 for 29 yards, so efficiency being the key in that passing game. You might look for a passing opportunity here on 2nd and 8. 2 receivers here to the near side, 1 to the far. The handoff will go to Worley instead, who tries the right side of the Cougar line. And not a lot of running room there. Maybe lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage, which is what's the 12. And I think that's exactly what is the case. No gain, now 3rd and 8.
Well, it's decision time. The Cougars have to move that football. As you were mentioning, no gain on that play.
4 minutes left to go in the opening period. No score. Canyon stuck in their part of the field here. Now ball at their own 8. 3rd and 8. Receivers stacked here, 2 of them to the near side, 1 to the far. Worley from the left now over to the right of Perez. Play clock down to 5. Perez slap of the hands. He's got to go here. Another clap, and he's got the ball. Looking here to the near sideline on a little slant route. That's Kylan Farr, and the ball is in and out. Minimal contact there. Scooter Brown came over in coverage, and Farr was unable to hold on, and it'll be 4th and 8 in that time for the punt team.
And you know, I want to credit Adam Alcorta from his offensive line position. He made a good key block that time to free up Xavier to throw the ball, give him a little bit more time. Unfortunately, it just didn't come together.
Jacob Martinez averaging 34 yards punting. Was going to need a big one here. Right foot into it. It's an end-over-end kick with some hang time, but the return man gets it at the 45. The ball is, I thought he came out there for a second, but Canyon's kick coverage is down there to make the tackle. DeMarcus Hall was the return man. Good field position upcoming as the referee spots the ball at the 37.
Seth Lieber-Haney came over to make the special team stop that time for the Cougars.
Now, Roland, I never know if I should include Leeper in that. The roster says Seth Leeper on it, but the 2 deep didn't, and so I elected to leave it out there. But I do think that name has a ring to it, Seth Leeper-Haney.
It certainly does. Certainly does. That may be how he got. He may be able to use that a little bit later on.
I think we're going to have a conversation with Coach Muchigima to see what Seth wants there.
Absolutely.
And we'll cater to his needs here. 1st and 10 for San Marcos. 3:38 left to go in the opening period. No score. Moving left to right. Ball on the near hash at the Cougar 37-yard line. Man in motion from right to left is Julian Perez. Out of the gun, Calderon. He'll fake the handoff to Johnson and go up the middle. The Cougars made initial contact at the line of scrimmage, but Calderon was able to fall forward to the 39. Ball came out at the end, and the Cougars jumped on it, but the referees come in to say that Calderon's knee was down. It'll go down as a gain of 6.
Van Steel over for a stop once again for the Cougars. He's making a little noise here early on.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Johnson now behind Calderon, kind of a pistol look. Calderon points to the ground, gets a snap, fakes it to Johnson, is bat to pass, goes over the middle, and that ball is in and out of the hands of Julian Perez, the H-back, coming across that seam route, and the Cougars were there if Perez was going to make the catch, and he doesn't.
Yeah, a couple of receivers and a couple of defenders, including Cooper Holm back there from his defensive back spot for the Cougars. Nothing doing that time. Big 3rd down now coming up for San Marcos.
Rattlers 0-2 on 3rd downs to start this ball game. Cougars want to make that 0 for 3. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Ball in between the hash and the middle of the field. Man in motion from right to left is 33, Israel Romero. Out of the gun, Calderon fakes it, keeps it, go right up the middle, and he'll have enough for a 1st down across the 25 to the 20, still fighting his way forward as multiple Cougars had a shot at him. Gets down to the 18, enough for a Rattler 1st down.
He must be tough to bring down. I tell you what, Van Steel came over to put a hit on him and slowed him down long enough for a couple of the other defensemen for the Cougars to recover.
First set of downs for San Marcos, 1st and 10 at the Cougar 18. Fake the handoff. Calderon goes to a quick pass to the far sideline. That ball is incomplete, intended for Elijah Akins.
Segundo over covering on the far side of the field.
Check that. That was Natividad Aldana, number 5 on the outside. You know, the lights have yet to settle in here at Cougar Stadium, so that far sideline rolling purple on gray, 5 kind of looks like 8 to me.
Yeah, that's that can be a challenge.
Ball at the Cougar 18, 2nd and 10, 2.5 left to go, opening period. Calderon Working out the shotgun again, will hand the ball off, this time to Johnson. Johnson come to the right side, has running room across the 10, the 5, dives to the end zone, but is going to be marked short inside perhaps the 2-yard line. One referee had it at the 1. This one will be spotted at the 2, enough for a Rattler first down.
I tell you what, 4 carries for 34 yards thus far in the first quarter that time for Johnson. He's getting it done on the ground. You talk about your leading ground gainers, Prudy Calderon himself, 4 carries for 41 yards.
Last week, Johnson, 10 carries, 36 yards, and a touchdown. First and goal here, San Marcos at the 2. Handoff to Johnson. It goes up the middle. The Cougars are there to stuff it, but he is fighting his way forward, keeping his legs churning. And the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th effort gets Jamon Johnson into the end zone. Touchdown, San Marcos.
Well, 2:07 left to go in the first quarter. And the Rattlers draw first blood.
Oh, Roland, that was a well-called and executed defense, but, you know, Jamon Johnson, 5'10", 162, you could see his legs go to get across the line. The extra point up the middle is blocked. Coming up to make the block is 14, Eric Taylor. What a game Eric Taylor is having as he blocks that extra point.
And that could be huge. We'll come back to that one.
2:07 left to go here in the first quarter. Our new score, San Marcos 6, Canyon 0. Don't go anywhere. More high school football on the Cougars Network.
Experience the best seat in every ballpark with MLB Network Strike Zone.
There it goes!
Catch baseball's biggest moments from around the league live on one channel.
You gotta be kidding me!
See the clutch hits.
It's a goner!
Great grabs.
Unbelievable!
And walk-off winners.
Game winner!
All without changing the channel.
Let's go home!
Bring home MLB Network Strike Zone. Tuesday and Friday nights, commercial-free all season long.
Welcome back to Cougar Stadium. 6-0 our new score. San Marcos on top. It is a 6-play, 37-yard scoring drive that took 1:31 off the clock. A 2-yard touchdown run by Jamon Johnson. The extra point, however, was blocked by Eric Taylor. And Roland, what a game Eric Taylor is having. A couple of big tackles defensively, and now a blocked extra point.
I tell you what, the defense does have their moments that they're shining. As you were mentioning, Eric Taylor has come up big. Also, Zach Fansteel coming up big with a couple of big defensive plays. So they can rise to the occasion and hold this San Marcos offense.
The kickoff comes to the near side, and Watanabe gets it at the 12 with a head of speed. Coming to the near side, one man to beat before breaking it, and he is just shoved out of bounds. Across the 30 to the 35, making the play on special teams was Javier Gonzalez for San Marcos. So another possession here for Canyon's offense. It's a pretty good field position.
See if they have an answer in them right here before the end of the first quarter.
Ball's going to be marked at the 34-yard line. As oh, wait a minute, there was a flag on that play, Roland. I missed it, but holding is the indication against Canyon. So instead of having the ball marked at the 36, they're going to push him back, and I believe they'll spot it at the 25. Something I missed there, my apologies. First and 10 Canyon going right to left. 2:02 left to go in the opening period. Canyon now trailing 6-0. Perez comes to the line, 2 receivers to the far side, 2 here to the short side. Haney back in at running back to the right of Perez. From the near hash, clap of the hands, Perez, quick strike to the far sideline. That's Colin Farr, who makes the grab at the 30, turns upfield across the 35. Enough for a Cougar first down as this ball's going to rest at the 36.
And you know, it's those kind of passes that have been working for Xavier Perez and the Canyon Cougars.
Some good yards after catches, too, by these Cougar receivers. First and 10 Canyon, their own 36, going right to left. Perez working out of the gun again, fakes the hitch route to the far sideline. He'll tuck it and come to the near side with a run. Across the 40 before being pushed out of bounds. Making the tackle for San Marcos is Joshua Banda, the outside linebacker. It's a good gain for Perez across the 40, just shy of the 45. It's going to be a gain of 8.
Be second and short, but hats off to that Cougar offensive line once again, giving Xavier Perez plenty of time to move back there.
And when things broke down, a lot of running room there. They created those lanes. 2 receivers both ways for Perez, who takes a step back. Will keep this one down the middle of the field. A lot of air under that football, but it's incomplete as he overthrew Seth Haney coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, he felt pressure that time because pressure was coming from that front line of the Rattler defense. She had the presence of mind to get that thing away and out of the reach of a defensive back for San Marcos.
Last week versus Cedar Ridge, Canyon was 3 of 13 on third down conversions. That's 23%. Canyon looking to better that this week and improve on that. They'll have an opportunity here, a manageable one. 3rd and 2 from the 44-yard line. And the Cougars have drawn a penalty flag. I think illegal procedure coming their way.
Yeah, that came at a bad time. It was 3rd and short. Now it's going to be 3rd and a bit more.
The right side of that Cougar offensive line moved. And Roland, I just said it was manageable. Now this isn't impossible, but not as manageable looking at 3rd and 7.
That's right. Here again, those short passes have been working, getting them in chunks of 5, 6, 7 yards. See if that Rattler defense is keying or if there'll be another opening.
From the 39, 3rd and 6 for Canyon. 2 receivers to the far sideline. Ball here on the near hash. 2 receivers to the near side. They'll send Haney out of the backfield as they set up a wide receiver screen. That's David Gonzalez who has it on the near side. And that is not going to go anywhere. Maybe 4 yards as they get back to the 39. And I think Jacob Martinez, the putter, is going to make another appearance here.
You know, it was a good call, but it was right in front of Takai Magid, who was back defensively for San Marcos, keying on the receiver who was in close, and that drive thwarted.
DeMarcus Hall and Scooter Brown in deep receiving for San Marcos. They are standing inside their own 30-yard line for Jacob Martinez's punt. Right foot into it. High spiraling punt that does not turn over. Hall makes the catch and is drilled immediately. What a play on special teams for number 13 for Canyon, Zach Feinstein.
There you go. There's that name again, Jack Feinstein. He's had a good first quarter and a good presence of mind to realize that a fair catch was not called for.
32 on the punt, 0 on the return, thanks to a great special teams tackle by Zach. The ball is going to be marked at the Rattler 29-yard line. 1st and 10 for San Marcos. 17 seconds left to go here in our opening frame. 3 receivers to the far sideline, 1 to the near. Ball on the near hash of the 29. Jamon Johnson to the left of Calderon out of the shotgun. Handoff is fake to Johnson. Calderon will keep to the left side. He is tripped up by Eric Taylor, the defensive end. Called his name again. Calderon gets down to the 34 to pick up a foul.
Seems like that's been the way it's been going for Calderon thus far. Carrying the football, he's carried it 5 times for 46 yards thus far in the first quarter.
Got a good one going here at Cougar Stadium. We played 1 period, and our score after 1, San Marcos 7, Canyon 0. Don't go anywhere. Stick with us here on the Cougars Network for more high school football.
The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
Welcome back to Cougar Stadium. Ben Campos, Roland Ruiz with you. Apache Milam, our spotter statistician. Bo Wick, our executive producer, with us. We played 1 quarter here at Cougar Stadium. San Marcos has an early lead, 6-0. Canyon shown some improvement, Roland, offensively and defensively from a week ago.
You know, you're absolutely right. Now, the key is to put it together, put the points on the board, and get back in this thing because it's still a long way from over.
Calderon, 46 yards rushing on 4 carries. That's almost 10 yards a carry. He's showing why There's a lot of praise for him over in San Marcos, and they think he could carry him a long way. On 2nd and 5, Calderon will throw to the near side flat, and that ball is incomplete. Canyon will scoop it up thinking it's a forward lateral, but I think it's going to be ruled incomplete. Yes, check that 3rd down and 5 upcoming.
Rattler receiver was hearing footsteps at the person of Eric Taylor. Oh, he was coming on for another one.
3rd and 5, another opportunity for this Cougar defense to get off the field. San Marcos 1 for 3 in 3rd down conversions in this early ball game. 3 receivers starting to take shape over on the far sideline. Ball is at the 34 at midfield, or excuse me, in the middle of the field, I should say. At the 34-yard line, going right to left are the Rattlers. 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near. Johnson now to the left of Calderon, and flags come in. They took too much time off the clock, and I think San Marcos is going to take a timeout, and they do. 11:55 left to go here in the 2nd quarter. San Marcos on top 6-0. And Roland, let's keep it here. We've seen a lot of San Marcos' running attack, and for the most part, Canyon's defense is up for it.
Absolutely, and as you were mentioning, if we looked at that, 12 carries thus far for the Rattlers, 96 yards on the ground, or actually updating those, 96 yards rushing, and the 17 yards in the air for the Rattlers. Still been a good defensive effort, though, by the Canyon Cougars. As we were mentioning, it's just watching out for the run and trying to stop that big play.
Canyon trying to avenge last year's loss to the Rattlers in San Marcos. That one scored 27-20, and their seasons kind of went in 2 different directions after that. San Marcos with a very brutal non-district schedule. In fact, Canyon was their lone win in non-district, but they get into district and they rattle off 4 straight wins, able to get into the playoffs, the Rattlers. And their district, 14-6A, consists of Del Valle, Aikens, Manor, Austin Anderson, and Austin Bowie, a tough one out of our state capital. 3rd and 5 for San Marcos here. Calderon takes it and sprints out to the right. Canyon trying to flush him out of the pocket. Ball is delivered, and that ball is deflected. Nice defensive effort by number 36, Cole Seeley, the linebacker.
Good defensive pursuit. The pressure was on the quarterback, Calderon. He was forced to get rid of it. He had nowhere to throw it, but to good coverage that time on the far side of the field.
Alfredo Hernandez will make his 2nd appearance for San Marcos. The punter stands inside his 20-yard line. And deep receiving for Canyon at the Rattler 35 is Vance McKay. Hernandez takes it. Canyon had a rush on and did not get to it. So McKay will check that. That is not McKay. That is Isaiah Scott. No, check that. That is not Isaiah Scott. That is Isaiah Rivera, number 84, not 24, with the punt return. Gains maybe 1 to the 36.
One of those situations of picking Isaiah, any Isaiah. There you go, Isaiah Rivera that time with it. Good special teams pressure that time by Cooper Holm. Almost got his hands on the football.
Got close, but the punt goes for 30, return of 1. And Canyon with decent field position here at the 35-yard line. Canyon now working left to right across your smartphone, computer screen, smart TV. However, you're with us here on the Cougars Network. Thank you for being with us on a Friday night. 1st and 10 Canyon. The back is Owen Worley, who's going to set up in kind of a pistol look here behind Perez. 2 receivers to the far side. Claps his hands and gives the ball to Worley. They'll try the right side, cuts back up the middle, does Worley, gets to the line of scrimmage, and maybe that's it. The defensive line for San Marcos getting some pressure there, not allowing Worley to do anything else.
That's right, running the football. 4 carries for 15 yards thus far on the evening for the Cougars. However, they passed 6 times for 40 yards. Seems to be a little bit more effective in the air.
Isaiah Rivera is the receiver on the far sideline. They fake it to Worley. The ball goes to Rivera on a little slant pass. The ball goes off his fingertips and out of bounds, incomplete. As the Cougars there, Roland, able to avoid perhaps a pick 6, some type of tip drill move there. The ball harmlessly falls to the ground.
Absolutely, maybe just a little bit out of his reach.
5'10", 155 pounds. That ball has to be delivered high, and did.
Just a bit, yeah, just a bit high.
3rd and 10 for Canyon. They go back to Perez with a little pump fake, times the far sideline, has a man open, and that ball is intercepted. On the far sideline, he overthrew his receiver, Lane Young, and that ball was intercepted. A beautiful play on the far sideline for San Marcos. defensively, as I guess that guy was able to get a foot down as he dove out of bounds.
Absolutely. That time, as you mentioned, Xavier just overthrew his intended receiver. He had a couple of steps on his defender, but turnover, costly turnover, as a matter of fact.
My apologies to the San Marcos defender on that turnover. It's the far side of the field. I was looking at Lane Young, and I could only see that player dive away from me and line down and then get mauled by his teammates. I did not get a good number on that. The interception gives San Marcos good field position at the 36. 1st and 10 going right to left. Hand off to Johnson, and Johnson gets to the line of scrimmage before being game tackled by a host of Cougars. No gain there for Jamon Johnson.
Great job, as a matter of fact, Vance McKay coming over to make a stop on Johnson among other Cougar defenders. They've been keying on him rather well. I mean, he's done well rushing the football, 7 carries for 52 yards. But in these kind of situations, the Cougar defense has risen to the occasion.
At 52 yards going into that play, comes out of it with 52 yards, sets up 2nd and 10. 2 receivers to the far side for Calderon. Jamon Johnson now gives him a little option look coming to the near side. Here's a pitch to Johnson, who makes a man miss, turns a corner, and he is gone. Jamon Johnson deeper into Cougar territory across the 20, 15, 10-5. Touchdown, San Marcos. Jamon Johnson from 53 yards.
Well, that time just a simple option coming to the near side, and good gamble that time by the quarterback. Calderon got rid of it just at the right time when Johnson was to the outside. There was no defensive pressure. He found his way to the end zone. The speed did the rest for him.
You know, that option look, Roland, you don't need to block that last guy. You just got to make him commit. Commits to the quarterback, and Johnson takes the pitch and turns the corner. Here's the extra point for San Marcos. Francisco Menchaca puts it through. And our new score with 10-12 left to go in the second quarter. San Marcos 13, Canyon 0. We'll step aside here on the Cougars Network.
What is the fastest land animal in the... Oh!
It's a cougar. It's a cougar. It's a cougar.
Get to know our Cougars in a whole new way as they take the Cougar Challenge. Who do you think actually gave the Canyon Cougars their mascot? Fun questions will bring out the real competitors in this group. What's the math on that? Puma, mountain lion, panther, catamount, deer lion, they go on and on. How do you spell Coach Muchagamba?
Triceratops.
I bet Coach Mooch would appreciate that, huh? And then
Burns, the ring of fire. The ring of fire.
Cougars Network brings you Cougar Challenge every week, only on Cougars Football with Joe Muchagamba.
Please don't hate me if I get it wrong, Coach.
Welcome back to Cougar Stadium here on the Cougars Network. San Marcos extending their lead to 13-0. It was a 2-play, 53-yard scoring drive for San Marcos. Ends in the 53-yard touchdown run by Jamon Johnson at the extra point. Our new score is San Marcos 13, Canyon 0, as Vance McKay settles under this kickoff, going left to right at the 5. Gets across the 15, spins out of the tackle at the 20, gets across the 25, and is finally brought down. Good return there by Vance. To the 27, it'll be 1st and 10 for Canyon offensively. And with that run on that last possession, Roland, Jamon Johnson already 105 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, how do you like that? The play before it was
I don't.
seven carries for 52 yards, and just on one play, boom, 8 carries for 105 yards. Here again, it's the big play.
It could happen that quickly. San Marcos is making sure of it. 1st and 10 Canyon, 2:05 left to go before the half. The handoff will go to Haney as he comes to the near side. Rolls over a guy at the 30. It's going to go down to the 34. Seth Haney lowers his shoulder and gets about 6.
Brandon Rangel comes over to make a stop for San Marcos that time.
It was Terrence Soto who was on the nail end of that hammer-nail exchange from Seth Haney. Sets up 2nd down and 3 for Canyon. They'll give the ball to Haney again. Again comes to the near side. Again turns the corner across the 40. And it takes 3 or 4 Rattlers to get him down to the 44. It's enough for a Cougar 1st down. And Roland, let's hope now that will put this Cougar offense into a rhythm.
You know, you're right, and that's maybe what they needed to do was get Haney started, and this could be it.
Taking their time here, 9.5 left to go in the second quarter. Haney to the right of Perez, who gets a new play and shifts Haney now to the left. Two receivers to the far side, ball on the near hash. They fake it to Haney this time. Plenty of running room at the middle for Xavier. Xavier gets into Rattler territory, dragging players across the 45, shy of the 40 to the 41. That's a good run on first down by Xavier Perez.
Now, that's one of my favorite things about a player like Xavier Perez. He was stopped about 3 yards 3 yards ago, but his forward progress and his 1-2 just got him that extra 3 yards. Great job.
Gain of 15 total. 1st and 10 now in Rattler territory at the 41. Handoff to Haney. Tries the left side this time. Not going to be shy about sharing which side of that line he's going to punish. Goes to the left inside the 40 to the 38. It's going to be a gain of 3.
Once again, Brandon Rangel with the stop for San Marcos. Came off that time, seeming to be favoring his left leg. Certainly hope the young man's okay.
Two receivers to the near side. On the outside, it's Catlin Farr. In the slot is Isaiah Scott. Far side receiver is Lane Young. Xavier Perez out of the gun. Kind of offset eye out of the shotgun, if you will, with a fullback. They come to the near side. No, Perez, yes, he will deliver it here to the near side. That ball is caught. That's Pape at the 35-yard line, skipping ahead to the 32. That's a good play for Trevor Pape out of that fullback position.
Terrence Soto to stop that time for San Marcos, but here we go again with Pape. Johnny on the spot for the Cougars.
And we mentioned this in pregame, Roland, trying to find ways to get him more involved. It's not your traditional offset eye look because Perez is in the shotgun, but I think they found a nice role for him and they're set up in that position again. They come again to Pape here to the near side, trying to get to the 30. It's enough for a first down, though he will be shy of the 30. Nice, easy pitch and catch, Perez to Pape.
Once again, Soto on the stop for San Marcos, but utilizing Pape very wisely.
My football coach used to say, line up and do it again. And they did that for a Cougar first down as they spot it at the 31. Should have been enough, and yes, late movement by the change there to indicate it. Again, out of this offset eye, out of the shotgun look for Perez, they fake it to Haney. They come to the near side. This time it's Fabian Facundo, but that ball is delivered too high, and in coverage there for San Marcos was Javier Gonzalez.
It's a couple of passes we've seen Perez throw that have just been a little bit too high. I don't know if he's a little bit anxious getting rid of it or what the situation is, but it's an adjustment they're going to have to make at halftime.
Haney to the right of Perez and Pape in that fullback position to the left. Hand off to Haney. They run behind Pape on that left side. And there's some running room for Haney across the 25 and 20. Has a Cougar first down at the 16-yard line before being brought down. That's a good run there for Seth Haney. And a Cougar first down now knocking inside the red zone.
No leaping about it. That was a great job that time for Seth.
Quickly again, they give it. No, they fake it to Haney as they got to the line quickly. Perez keeps it up the middle and is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe they'll even give him a yard out of that. It'll be second down and long either way. 7 minutes left to go here before the half. Canyon trying to answer 2 straight touchdowns for San Marcos. On the opening touchdown, Canyon blocked the extra point. That gives us the 13-0 score. 2 receivers to the near side. They keep it on the ground with Haney. Coming to the near side. The Rattlers are there, but Haney breaks out of a tackle at the 15. Dives forward across the 10. They'll spot him at the 7. He's going to be shy of the first down by about a yard, but this third down just got that much more manageable.
4 carries for 35 yards thus far on the night for Haney. He's been a nice offensive spark plug for the Canyon Cougars.
Ball at the 7-yard line. The line to get is just before the 6, so maybe half a yard as the San Marcos Rattlers, Roland, need to catch their breath, and why not? This Cougar offense finally finding some rhythm in this ball game, and they're doing it mostly on the ground.
They are getting it out on the ground. We had mentioned Haney, of course, at this point with that last carry, 5 carries for 44 yards thus far on the night. But the offensive numbers starting to become and look a little bit more respectable for the Cougars as we progress later on in the first half.
You know, one thing I noticed when they did go to the air was 2 quick passes out of the same formation to Pape to kind of soften up the edge, and then as San Marcos bit down on the edge, they tried to go over the top. Same formation, same basic pattern, but they tried to go to Fabian Facundo on that. And Roland, perhaps what you said, perhaps Perez being a little anxious there, knowing that you've set the table and now you can take the shot.
Absolutely. I don't know if it's a case of passing to set up the run or whatever, but the Cougars certainly do seem to have something clicking right now.
One will set up the other, that is for sure. Back to play here, 3rd and half a yard at the 7-yard line. Haney out of the gun to the right of Perez, takes the handoff and trying to reverse his field as the Rattlers have clogged it up. He's going to end up losing yardage on this one. Back to the 12-yard line, try to go up the middle, rolling. It was just stuffed all the way.
Michael Vargas coming over to put the hit on Haney that time and shut him down. And should bring up a 4th down, and yeah, looks like 4th and about 6.
Jacob Perez out to take his first field goal of 2017 out of the hold of Fabian Facundo. This will be a 29-yard kick from the near hash for the right-footed kicker. Snap back to Facundo is down, right foot into it. This is up. It is hooking left, and Jacob Martinez misses from 29. You know, you work so hard to get down there, and that was a nice kick off the toe rolling. It looks like he just hooked it.
Absolutely. It kind of is reminiscent of what we saw last week against Cedar Ridge. They moved the ball down real well, and unfortunately, just nothing waiting there at the end. They're going to have to find a way to get to pay dirt and put some points on the scoreboard.
Star that drive for Canyon as they were finally able to get into an offensive rhythm, just no points. It was a 12-play drive that carried 61 yards offensively, ends in a missed field goal. So San Marcos will take over. This is what we call sudden change for this defense, having to be sent out there in this situation. 1st and 10, San Marcos moving right to left, ball at the 20. Calderon out of the gun, fakes the handoff, goes to the right side, breaks a tackle, and he's out in the open. Watch out as Prudy Calderon is across midfield. The 40, the 30, he's going to outrace the rest of the Cougars secondary, and it's going to be an 80-yard touchdown for San Marcos. Roland, it is a broken record. Canyon has a shot, turns the ball over, and then the big play comes.
And then the big play. And, you know, it hasn't been so much, although Johnson has carried the ball for 105 yards for San Marcos. It's really been a steady dose of Calderon that's hurt the Canyon Cougars thus far. We'll check his numbers here momentarily.
From the right side of the field over to the left in a hurry. 80 yards covered by Prudy Calderon. The snap back to Menchaca, the kicker. Kick is up, through, and in. 5:23 left to go here before the half. Our new score is San Marcos 20, Canyon 0. We'll step aside here on the Cougars Network.
Ashley Home Store is proud to sponsor Canyon Cougars. Go Cougs!
And we're back with 5:23 left to go before halftime. And our score, San Marcos on top of Canyon by a score of 20-0. And you know, Ben, I was mentioning just a couple of minutes ago that it has been, I guess, a 1-2 punch with Johnson and Calderon. Calderon now, I believe, up around 146 yards, if I'm not mistaken, running the football. Wow. Or correction, 126 yards. I don't want to give him 20 yards too many. But 126 for him, Johnson with 105. It's a very potent punch running the football for San Marcos this evening.
Recap that scoring drive, but it's just one play, and that's Prudy Calderon going 80 yards against this Cougar defense. 5:23 left to go before the half. San Marcos has a 20-0 lead, and the play clock is down now to 12. There is a play clock on kickoff, by the way, and the kicker is just now taking his steps back. Play clock now down to 6. He's got to get this off. He quickly approaches the football, right foot into it. It's a high spinning kick that drives Watanabe back to the 3. Coming back near side with a full head of speed and some blockers. McKay got a good block. That springs Watanabe coming in near sideline across the 35-40. Flags coming late. Dallin Watanabe gets Canyon across the 40, and we'll check this flag roll.
DeMarcus Hall stopped him there on special teams play for San Marcos, but He may have gotten the wrong part. Let's see what the referee has to say. I don't want to speculate.
Austin Mapache Milam was already speculating up here in the booth. He called horse collar tackle, and that's exactly what it is.
See, it was a horse collar. I was going to speculate it was a face mask, so I'm glad I didn't say anything. You didn't hear anything.
The Washington Bear had it all the way as a horse collar, and that you had that on, Roland, to the good return in Canyon with another opportunity here. Good field position now in Rattler territory. Ball at the 43.
They've got to take advantage of this and get it in the end zone sooner or later.
And off to Worley, who comes to the near side trying to get a block, doesn't. He's actually going to lose a yard, maybe back to the 44. Owen Worley unable to turn the corner.
Soto with the stop that time. It's good to see Brandon Rangel back in. I know he left and was favoring his leg a few minutes ago, but he's back in the ball game.
Spotted at the 43 is going to be no gain officially to Owen Worley. Canyon now looking to the near side for a new play. Two receivers to the inside, one receiver to the far. Owen now to the left of Perez, who flings it to the far sideline. Sliding catch is made across the 40 to the 39. Lane Young making that impressive catch.
DeMarcus Hall back defensively for the Rattlers, and should bring up a third. And what are we looking at? Third and about 6?
I'm going to give them 4 on that, so it'll be 3rd and 6. Moving left to right, our Canyon. Ball now at the far hash. Needed here. If you're Canyon, 4:20 left to go before the half. Worley now shifting from the left side, Perez to the right. Perez now bat to pass, looking, he'll tuck it and run. No, he keeps his eyes downfield with the pump fake. Now he'll tuck it and run. Across the 35, dives to the first down marker. I think he has it rolling to the 33. Should be enough for a Cougar first down.
And I believe that is the case. Tip of the cap to Xavier that time. Heads up, known for looking for that first down marker. And yeah, apparently by the spot, he's got it.
And what I liked about that, Roland, he's escaping, looks like he's going to tuck it and run, knows he's still behind the line of scrimmage, so keeps his eyes downfield, looking for the last-minute open receiver, finally decides to tuck it and run after a pump fake. That's some good heads-up play by the Canyon quarterback. 4 minutes left to go before the half. Can Canyon get on the board? Remember, they will get the ball to start the second half. Out of the gun, hand off to Worley, coming again to the near side, trying to turn the corner and seal the edge is Canyon, just unable to do it. San Marcos strings it out. It's going to be a loss of 1 for Owen Worley.
Once again, Soto coming over to make the stop for the Rattler on the Rattler defense. Yeah, he's going to lose 1. Looks like it's going to be a 2nd and 11. Cougars got to get the ball in the end zone right now. Give them a little bit of momentum, give them a good frame of mind going into the locker room and for the second half.
2nd and 11 for Canyon. Perez fakes the handoff to Worley. He'll keep it. He'll try the left side. And that Rattler defender just came out of nowhere, striking to get him. That was Joshua. It's going to be a gain of maybe 1 back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 for Canyon. Another important 3rd down conversion. Opportunity here. They converted the last one on 3rd and 6. Now under 3 minutes to go here before the half. 2 receivers to the near sideline, 1 to the far. Haney has checked back in for Canyon. Now to the right of Perez. Out of the gun. Hand off to Haney. Full head of steam up the middle. Bounces out to the right side. St. Marcos able to bring him down across the 30 to the 29. Gain of 4 and a long 4th down here for Canyon, and I think they're going to leave the offense on the field.
Nicholas Riddings Cook came over and made the stop that time for the Rattlers, and yeah, I guess you got to go for it at this point.
Not taking a timeout here, our Canyon. It's 4th and 6 from the 29. Line to get is the 23. Bat to pass. Perez, quick slant to the near side. That ball is in and out of the hands of a receiver who got turned upside down. That's Isaiah Rivera, and Canyon once again has turned the ball over on downs. The 2nd time tonight, Canyon has turned the ball over and downs to go with an interception and a missed field goal. Roland, something tells me when we look at these offensive stats, paint a good picture until you dive a little bit deeper into the numbers.
Yeah, that's about it. As a matter of fact, you look at San Marcos, 15 carries for 229 yards thus far on the evening. They almost got that much, just a smidge over 300 for last week's game against East Central. 18 carries for 78 yards for Canyon thus far this evening.
2:12 left to go before the half. San Marcos now with the ball in a 20-0 lead, moving right to left. Fake the handoff. Prudy Calderon will go now on a design quarterback keeper, and what a tackle from behind was 14. Eric Taylor, what a game he's having. Calderon gets across the 40, dives forward. They'll spot it at the 44, and San Marcos has a fresh set of downs and moving up tempo. Two receivers both ways. Calderon takes a snap that he wasn't expecting. Gathers himself, now moves to the right side, keeps his eyes downfield. Throws the ball just to the far sideline. Going to be shy of midfield. That ball is caught. I believe making that catch is number 3, and I don't have a number 3 on my spot board. So
that's a coincidence. I don't have a number 3 on my roster.
Well, now I got to start guessing myself. Was it made by number 3? That moved pretty quick on the far sideline. So the unknown Rattler hauls that in for a gain of 3. My apologies. Second and 7. Ball at the Rattler 47. Calderon pointing down to the ground, asking for the snap. Gets it, but there's late movement on that Rattler offensive line. 76, Terry Anya moves that right tackle position.
And that's gonna move it back.
Move it back to the 42. Make it 2nd and 12 now for San Marcos.
Basically a penalty-free first half. The Rattlers right there, the second penalty for 20 yards on the evening. Cougars have been hit twice for 15.
It was that horse collar tackle on the last kickoff that San Marcos had that set up Canyon in pretty good field position. Here we are at 2nd and 12 for Prudy Calderon. Out of the shotgun, back to pass, pocket collapsing. He steps up and in and fires this downfield. Overthrows his intended receiver. That's Elijah Akins. In coverage for Canyon was Cooper Holm. Incomplete, 3rd and 12.
Yeah, and it looked like the receiver had a couple of steps on Cooper that time, but the ball just overthrown.
3rd down opportunity for Canyon's defense again. San Marcos 1 for 4 tonight. Canyon improving in this measure defensively from a week ago. No sense of urgency from San Marcos here. Clock is stopped at 1:43. Now 11 on the play clock, under 10, and San Marcos just now getting to the line. They have 1 timeout remaining. Clock now at the 3, 2. Calderon points and gets it in time. Back to pass. Pocket collapsing. He takes a hit and fires it down the far sideline. That ball is caught at the 25-yard line, and racing into the end zone is Natividad Aldana. Touchdown for San Marcos, 58 yards, and rolling. What hurts about that is Canyon had a great defense there, put great pressure and hit Calderon just as he let the football go.
They might have seen something from the play before. Said try it again, and this time they capitalized.
Almost the exact play there. This time San Marcos capitalizes and sends Menchaca out for his 4th extra point attempt. 1 was blocked. Snap down, kick up. This one looked like it got tipped, but goes through and is good. 1:32 left to go here before the half. Our score, San Marcos 27, Canyon 0. We'll step aside. You're listening to the Cougars Network.
Well, I don't think so.
It's a good deal, right?
Coach, this is a 2538, 37 horsepower, most lift capacity of any tractor in its class, and no depth fluid.
Well, the best part is it's the right color.
The San Marcos Rattlers have dreams of making a deep run into the playoffs in this year, and they have a tough non-district schedule. They put the Canyon Cougars on it and rolling. They're looking every bit as good as a team that has these dreams of making a deep run into the playoffs.
Absolutely, and that time we knew them came into this game with the impression that they were going to get it done on the ground, which they have. Potent running game. At that time we saw the unexpected where they unleashed a pass and found pay dirt right before halftime. Hey, speaking of halftime, got a very special guest coming up. We're going to have the honor of speaking with the superintendent of the Comal Independent School District. Mr. Andrew Kim will be with us.
Looking forward to that in 1 minute and 32 seconds. Kickoff goes to Dalen Watanabe, who fumbles it, scoops it up inside the 10, and is trying to make something out of nothing. Gets to the 15 and it's going to be a long road to hoe for Canyon offensively with 1:25 left, needing to go now 85 yards to get a touchdown before the half.
Yeah, but like last week, we saw them strike quickly. We'll see if they can come back and put together something, very quick offensive drive. See if they can put some points on the board, as you mentioned, before we go into the halftime locker room.
You know, a good thing to mention here, 1:25 left to go. If Canyon could get some score here, they get the ball to start the second half. So I know it's a basketball term, a chance to go 2 for 1 here for Canyon.
Exactly.
Got to take advantage of it. Ball at their own 15-yard line. 2 receivers here to the near side for Perez. Takes it. They'll try a little crow route to Palin Farr. The ball goes in and out of his hands at the 18-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Shumbray Brown back defensively for San Marcos that time. The clock actually stopped at 1:21.
After the incompletion, they'll keep these 2 receivers here to the near side. That's Isaiah Scott on the outside and Farr in the slot. Haney now to the right of Perez. The handoff will go to Haney. He'll try the left side. Has some running room across the 20 and 25. Falls forward. We'll have a Cougar first down at the 29. Move the change and stop the clock at 1:14.
Haney certainly has been a bright spot for that Cougar offense since he's come into the ball game.
Now to the right of Perez. They keep the same basic formation out there with Pape, the fullback. They try a curl route on the far sideline. Ball is caught. I believe that's Lane Young, who gets across the 35. Is going to be shy of the sticks, setting up 2nd and 1.
Absolutely. Another one of those quick pass plays that worked so well for them.
Now under a minute to go before the half, down 27-0, but moving are the Cougars. Hand off to Haney to the near sideline, tries to get a block by Pape. Unable to get the block, but he gets across the 40 and a Cougar first down. Stop the clock now at 39 seconds.
Shumbray Brown with the stop. I like to see him run because he's running and he's shaking off tacklers as he's doing it to pick up more yardage.
Round of applause for Haney as he exits for Owen Worley. They fake the ball to Worley. Perez will keep it up the middle. Has running room now into Rattler territory at the 50. Dives forward across the 45. And we'll have a Cougar first down at the 43-yard line of San Marcos. Stop the clock at 23 seconds.
Xavier dodging those tacklers, picking up another first down.
Back to the line. Perez takes it out of the gun and spikes it to stop the clock at 19 seconds. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And decision time, if you're Coach Muchagimba, you have all 3 timeouts here. You just wasted a down, and the referees are trying to signal something to each other. They got everything straight. Now play clock at 20. 19 seconds on 2nd and 10. Out of the gun, it's a curl route to the far sideline intended for Young, and that is low and outside, incomplete. 2nd down now and 10.
Like
3rd down.
Third down. Yeah, it looked like DeMarcus Hall over there on coverage for the Rattlers that time.
Yet decision time here for Coach Muchagimba, 16 seconds, again, 3 timeouts. Are you just trying to get into field goal range, or are you going to take a shot at the end zone? Ball at the 43 of San Marcos. Back to pass with a pump fake to Perez. Pocket collapses. He comes to the near sideline, keeping his eyes downfield. Fires it down inside the 30-yard line. That ball is incomplete. Juggled on the way out of bounds is Isaiah Scott, unable to retain possession. And it'll be 4th and 10.
Javier Gonzalez back defensively that time for San Marcos.
Take some of the decision-making out of this. Now as it's 4th and 10, 7 seconds left, 1 rolling. I think you're just trying to get a heave down into the end zone. If nothing else, a deep out route that maybe gets you a first down and 1 or 2 seconds left on the clock. We'll see what happens here on 4th and 10. 2 receivers to the near sideline, ball on the far hash. 1 receiver to the far side. Perez back to pass, looks to the near sideline. He'll tuck the ball and run. No, last minute ditch to his safety valve. That's Orley across the 35 and the 30. It would have been enough for a first down, but the scoreboard shows 0 on the time marker. We have played 1 half here at Cougar Stadium. Our score, San Marcos 27, Canyon 0. We'll step aside when we come back. Halftime coverage from Cougar Stadium as we will welcome Comal ISD Superintendent of Schools Andrew Kim. Keep it here on the Cougars Network.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor. Zaxby's.
Cougars Network is your home for Canyon High School athletic coverage. Don't miss live game broadcasts, weekly coaches shows, stories from inside the field house, and more. Log on to cougarsnetwork.com to stay up to date on everything from the Den to the Red Zone. Welcome to Cougars Network.
Officers are Ava Ferguson, Cassandra Bulabasis, Audrey Campbell, and the head social officer is Cassidy Bromley. The dance officers are junior lieutenants Kelsey Yames and Grace Warren, senior lieutenants Madison Noble, Bailey Brooke, and Shelby McGrath. First lieutenant Talia Lopez. The Aristocrat captain is Alyssa LeBron. The Aristocrat of the week is Caroline Young. Now, sit back and relax as the Aristocrats perform an entertaining part routine to All the Small Things.
Welcome back to Cougar Stadium. Our score at the break is San Marcos 27, Canyon 0. Ben Campos, Roland Ruiz with you, the Governor Austin Milam, our spotter statistician, and Bo Wick, our executive producer, up here in the press box at Cougar Stadium. Pleasure to welcome the Superintendent of Schools of Comal ISD, Andrew Kim. And Mr. Kim, it's the Cougar Network is something we're very excited about, and we hope that this brings good things to a good spotlight to Canyon High School. And one, let me just say thank you for showing support to something like this endeavor.
No, we appreciate it very much. I want to just thank you guys, but also certainly all of our Board of Trustees and the Booster Club here at Canyon High School, and really the entire Comal Independent School District, because we've been very lucky to have a great parent group of support, as well as a board that supports us, and we're really proud of launching this Comal Independent School District Network. Of course, the Cougar Network is part of that, as well as our Ranger Network and our Hawk Network. So we're excited about this opportunity to not only highlight our students, athletes, but certainly other students as well too, that are excelling in the classroom, in the fine arts, marching band, you name it. So we're really appreciative of this opportunity to showcase to all of our parents out there, and also many of our relatives and friends who are not able to be here enjoying this great event in our great community, but rather they can have access to it. So this is a very positive experience for us.
Now, selfishly, I see it as an opportunity for me to call high school football games. So, of course, that's just kind of how I see it. But bigger picture, what are some of the things that when you heard about this project or you saw what was happening with the Ranger Network at Smithson Valley, what gave you that aha moment to say we need this here with all of our schools here at Comal ISD?
Well, we're such a dynamic, growing district in our school district, 589 square miles, half the size of the state of Rhode Island, just about. And, when you think about where we are located in between Austin and San Antonio, two of the fastest growing metroplex, and this wonderful place, great parents and great families are moving to this area. This is a great opportunity to really highlight and showcase some of the great things that our kids and our administrators, our teachers, our staff members are doing. It's a great vehicle. As you know, today, our students are getting their information through social media and other means. And this is a fantastic way for us to go ahead and reach so many different folks out there about the wonderful things that everyone is doing in the Comal Independent School District.
Mr. Kim, I got to tell you, he's a proud member of the Comal ISD. I know there's a lot of exciting things going on district-wise for this upcoming school year, for the 2017-2018 school year, and even beyond. There are a few things you could share with us.
Absolutely. Every year is a unique challenges as well as unique in terms of very special way. But we're looking forward to the great group of administrators and leadership that we have in our school district. One of the things that we highlight as Comal Independent School District is our people. And we have absolutely great folks in our school district. We hire this year 240 folks. We had 8,000 applicants. That tells you the number of folks that would like to come into the Comal Independent School District and to be part of this great team. And I think so one of the wonderful things that I'm looking forward to is just working with all of our staff, teachers, transportation, child nutrition, you name it. Great, wonderful people. But our students and our parents are extremely supportive, and that's another great thing that we have. But we're also very excited. Once again, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to just having a wonderful opportunity to showcase through our Comal ISD network, through the Cougar network, Ranger network, and the Hawk network, the wonderful things that our kids are doing from special ed department all the way to our career and tech education to ROTC. So we're really excited about that.
Absolutely, because it is, as you were mentioning, the kids, the student body, such a special group of young kids, and they're doing a great job excelling academically and leadership-wise.
They really are. Everybody wants to know maybe perhaps what's our secret sauce, and really, it really is just great people. We have great folks that are working together. We put aside our issues and to really work together on things, and that is not something that. I certainly have inherited that here in the Comal Independent School District. It's part of the DNA of our community, such a positive relationship, and I think that's the hallmark of this school district. And hopefully we'll continue that and add value to that, and I think this Comal ISD network will contribute to that success going forward.
We thank you for that, and I know as a proud parent of children in the Comal ISD, I tip my cap to you and to all the great teachers because the focus and the care is on the kids. It's for the kids. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Ben Campos, Roland Ruiz, and Superintendent of Schools here at Comal ISD, Andrew Kim, with you here in the booth. 20-0 our score at the half in favor of the San Marcos Rattlers. And Mr. Kim, we do football every week. We look at the leadership that is leading these young men, and we're able to draw from the culture of the leadership. So, when I do a Smithson Valley game with Larry Hill, you say, this is a Larry Hill coach team, and this is what we expect. Coach Muchagimba here at Canyon, and so forth throughout this area of high school football. To draw that parallel to you and your leadership, if I were to say this is an Andrew Kim run school district, what are some of the culture things that you would want people to say, this is this is what I hope to have instilled, and hope will continue in part of my school district.
Boy, I tell you what, that's a awesome question, by the way. The thing that I try to, lead by example, but one of the things that we've been really talking aloud about is just our sense of continuous improvement process. We like to think that, yes, we're doing some wonderful things and great things. Our kids are doing some fantastic things, but we're never satisfied. And we want to keep improving. We want to add to that. And we want to be successful. And there's a great book by this title, Extreme Ownership. We want to own what we do as professionals, as teachers, as educators. And we are there hand in hand to ensure that, I'll tell you once again, that human talent factor that we contribute into it is once again the DNA of our school district.
Well, we want to thank you once again for showing some leadership behind this initiative and able to highlight things not only at Canyon High School but Comal ISD as well. So thank you for that, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. We saw you running around to kind of pregame here, and thank you for spending some of your time here in the press box with us.
I appreciate it very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys more and more. So thank you guys very much as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Superintendent of Schools for Comal ISD, Andrew Kim. We'll take a break here on the Cougars Network. When we come back, more halftime coverage. Our score at the break, San Marcos 27, Canyon 0. You're listening to the Cougars Network.
When you're ready for a break, hurry in to Chicken Express. Let us do all the cooking for you. We always offer high-quality, affordable meals that the entire family will enjoy. Our chicken is never frozen and is hand-battered fresh so you can really taste the difference. You can expect fast and friendly service at Chicken Express, whether you dine in, drive through, or drive up. Hurry in and hurry back to Chicken Express.
Welcome back to Cougar Stadium. Opening kickoff here in the third quarter by Manchaca, and McKay will take it, moving left to right now at the 12. Gets a full head of steam at the 20, makes him in, miss at the 25, dives to the 29. That's where Canyon will have it. Decent field position to start the second half.
Okay, now time to take a look at those adjustments, see what they talked about or how they're going to execute what they've talked about in the halftime locker room.
Well, I liked a lot of Trevor Pape in the flat. I liked a lot of Seth Haney. It just seemed whenever you were going to replace Seth Haney, then the decision-making had to go, where do we give the football? Perez has had a good game at that quarterback position as well. Moving left to right, ball at the 29-yard line. The Cougars open up with trips wide receivers to the far sideline. That's Young on the outside, Facundo in the slot, and I believe that's Isaiah Scott on the near side. Pass goes to Seth Haney out of the flat, out of his running back position, gets to maybe the line of scrimmage. No, actually he's going to lose 2 yards there on first down.
That's right, set him in motion that time, and the quick pass out to Haney, but nothing doing there. Is good response time that time. Good response that time by San Marcos.
They give them to the 29, no gain, 2nd and 10. Trips receivers now move from the far side of the field to the near. Out of the gun, Perez looking to the far sideline, quick slant. That ball is caught by Gonzalez at the 25, hit immediately and thrown back. There's a flag on the play as they threw it at the heart of that Cougar offensive line. We'll see what this is.
Elijah Akins, I believe, back defensively, or we'll check that. No, it was not Elijah. It was Javier Gonzalez back defensively for San Marcos.
Washington Bears signaling holding. We'll see what the official indication is. It's illegal hands to the face against San Marcos. Not every now and it's not very often that our spotter statistician is incorrect about a call, but we'll get you there, and that's actually going against San Marcos. It should be a first down for Canyon.
He was wrong about a call?
It hardly ever happens. He's
he meant to say illegal hands to the face. I know that's what Austin Milan meant.
That's what he said. He said, I interpreted holding. He was saying personal foul. Gestures are pretty similar. Either way you slice it, it's a first down for the Canyon Cougars at their own 44, moving left to right. 2 receivers here to the near side. They'll hand the ball off to Haney. Little counter move at the line of scrimmage, maybe to the 45. It's going to be a gain of 1, but about 6 Rattlers there to finish off Haney.
Yeah, not much that time for Haney as the Rattler defense is responding. That big defensive line up front leading the pack there, Gabe Urrutia from his defensive line position.
Off the 45 of Canyon. Slap of the hands, handoff now goes to Haney. Haney met at the line of scrimmage, keeps his legs going forward before being body slammed. Shy of midfield to the 48. It's a good pick up there of about 4, but will set up about a 3rd and medium.
Yeah, right now it seems like things are getting a little bit frustrating down there for the Cougars. They've got to keep their heads about them.
I saw that some extracurricular activity, as they call it, after the play here on the near sideline. But you know what that tells me, Roland? They're blocking downfield and waiting for the whistle. 2 receivers in the near side are stacked, one behind the other. Haney now to the right of Perez. They fake it to Haney, come on a quick slant to Farr with a catch as he's stuck at the 45. They'll actually mark him at the Rattler 46 on a quick slant. Enough for a Cougar first down now in Rattler territory.
Shumbray Brown that time with the stop for San Marcos. But here again, those quick passes is what's been working for the Cougars.
Nice slant route there to Callan, getting into Rattler territory. From the 46, Perez trying to go up tempo. They fake it to Haney. Another slant to the far side. That's Young across the 40. Caught and dropped immediately at the 39. That's a pickup of 7 and 2nd and short upcoming.
I like that. Fake to Haney. Pass right across the middle. Nice.
Opening possession of the 3rd quarter for Canyon. 9.5 left to go here in the quarter. Down 27-0, but moving on this drive. Perez bat to pass out of the shotgun, looking to the near side, steps up in the pocket and heaves this downfield. Looking for Farr with a dive, and that ball is just outside of his fingertips at the 5-yard line, incomplete. Took a shot there on 2nd and 3, no harm there, now 3rd and 3.
Shumbray Brown back defensively for the Rattlers. But he was with the receiver Farr that time, stride for stride.
First 3rd down opportunity for Canyon in the new half. Ball at the Rattler 39. Need to get to the 36. Out of the gun. Quick slant here to the near side. It's a curl route to Gonzalez. That ball is incomplete. Contact there made by Scooter Brown, the free safety. Perhaps a little too early, but no call there from the referee.
That's it. Yeah, he was all over him that time. But I guess the referees have a better angle at this than I do.
4th and 5. They give the ball to Haney, coming to the near side. He is stuck at the 40-yard line. He's actually going to lose a yard. Good play there by Terrence Soto. We mentioned his name a number of times. The whip safety coming in to whip Haney. And the Cougars, for the 3rd time in this ball game, Roland, turned the ball over on down. No harm in that decision, though, Roland. Can't fault Coach Muchugin, but you're kind of stuck in this, not really a red zone area, maybe, call it a dead zone. Too far for a field goal. Probably not going to benefit too much from a punt there in terms of field position, so you go for it and just didn't convert.
Absolutely. The bottom line is you've got to get some points on the board.
First look at Calderon here in the the 2nd half, moving right to left. They give the ball off to a new running back, that's Colin Ramos, but Ramos and Calderon have a problem with the exchange. Ramos trips over Calderon before he's able to turn upfield. He'll lose one back to the 38-yard line, 2nd and 11.
Yeah, just rough, as you were mentioning, trouble on the exchange that time between Calderon and his running back, Colin Ramos.
Under 9 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. San Marcos taking their time getting substitutions in. Receiver to the near side is 83, Carlos Hernandez. We mentioned Ramos checking in, replacing Jamone Johnson at the running back position. 2 receivers to the far sideline, Barr in the near hash at the 38. Back to pass is Calderon, looking to the far sideline. Pass is batted down at the defensive line. Eric Taylor, and perhaps...
Oh, Eric Taylor.
I was about to say, Roland, perhaps early candidate for player of the game for Canyon.
You're not kidding. You're not kidding.
Leader in the clubhouse for sure. Absolutely. Setting up this 3rd and 11 after batting down that pass. Also has a block extra point to his credit. Let's not forget about that. 2 receivers both ways. Ball at the 38. Need to get to the 49. For Calderon as he points to the ground to get the snap. Back to pass here. Pocket collapsing. Steps up. Delivers. And that ball is incomplete. In coverage there is Fansteel as the intended receiver was Julian Perez off the mark, and the Canyon Cougars open up with the 3-and-out defensively.
Okay, now here again. Great stop that time. We held San Marcos. Nothing doing there. going to get the football back. It's time to take advantage of it. I know I've said this since the second quarter.
You got to do something with it. You got to do something with it. As Alfredo Hernandez is back to punt, as we have a flag here. I believe this might be too many men on the field. First San Marcos, as referees are now counting. This is kind of one of those shoot first, ask questions later, as they threw the flag and then started counting heads. And it is illegal substitution granted against San Marcos.
Easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission.
This will knock Alfredo Hernandez back 5 yards. He's only averaging 21 yards a punt. And the deep receiving for Canyon is Isaiah Rivera, who's standing at his own 35-yard line. Should be decent field position any way you slice this. Here's the deep snap back to Hernandez. Cougars have a rush on it, almost get to it. It's a high spiraling kick that does not turn over. Fair caught by Isaiah Rivera at the 38, and he is hit late. Incidental contact, but enough to check that is not Isaiah Rivera. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, 84. I thought it was 82, but it is 84, Isaiah Rivera. Incidental contact, perhaps, Roland, but enough to send Rivera to the ground.
You know what? And here you go. You tip your cap off to Isaiah Rivera because even though it was incidental, he sold it. He sold it. He's going to pick up the yardage.
This will be the second time that Canyon has benefited from a penalty after already having decent field position. The ball would have been at the 39. In the second quarter, the Cougars benefited from a horse collar tackle after a good run back on a kickoff by Dalen Watanabe. Both of these penalties give the ball in Rattler territory to the Cougars looking to answer these touchdowns by San Marcos. Now 8 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Ball at the Rattler 46. Near hash. Perez now out of the shotgun, looking to take a deep shot downfield, has Fabian Facundo. Ball is caught at the 10, 5, touchdown, Cougars.
That's just what they needed and just when they needed it.
Facundo got outside leverage and separation. We have not seen that in this year for Canyon. Perez threw a strike, hit Fabian Facundo in stride, and Canyon has answered.
That's right. That's exciting, too, because Facundo got a step on his defender. Hats off to Xavier. He recognized it, put the ball just where it needed to be, and that time we hauled it in.
On to attempt the extra point is Jacob Martinez out of the hold of Facundo. The kick is up, and it is good. 8:11 left to go here in the third quarter. Our new score, San Marcos 27, Canyon 7. We'll step aside here on the Cougars Network. You're listening to Cougars Football.
At Frost, we have the top-rated app in the banking category. Yet it's the half star that's missing that has our attention. So we're always pushing, tweaking, and updating. Because even a little half star will keep us up at night.
Welcome back to Cougar Stadium. Ben Campos, Roland Ruiz with you, with Austin Backray Milam, our spotter statistician, and executive producer Bo Wick with you. 8:11 left to go here in the third quarter. Canyon finally responds. They've had opportunities all night, finally find pay dirt. It's a 46-yard pass from Xavier Perez to Fabian Facundo. That caps a one-play drive, that one exactly. And Canyon is on the board. Right leg into it for Jacob Martinez. And the return man for San Marcos, I think that's Hall, coming across the far sideline, has some blocks and running room across the 25-30, pushed out at the 35. And the Rattlers will have good field position. Roland, my dyslexia got the best of me. I misspoke on that statistic. It is a 61-yard touchdown pass, Xavier Perez to Fabian Facundo.
Well, we knew that's what you meant there, Ben. It's nothing to it. These things happen. Good play that time on special teams by Vance McKay on the far side of the field, far from our vantage point.
1st and 10, San Marcos at the 36-yard line. I have a funny story for you here shortly. Back to pass Calderon. Quick slant to the middle, and that ball is caught. Now into Cougar territory, and caught from behind is number 8, Elijah Akins. Touchdown saving tackle for Canyon, and a big strike to answer for San Marcos.
Thank you, Fabian Facundo. He made that touchdown saving tackle for the Cougars.
1st and 10 now in Cougar territory at the 40 for Calderon. Takes the snap and will hand the ball off. That's Johnson. Makes the man miss at the 35 and 30. Dives forward. to about the 27-yard line. That'll be enough for a Rattler first down after the gain of 12.
Yes, indeed, Rattler offense back on the field. They're striking quickly.
First and 10 for Calderon, 7.5 left to go with a 27-7 lead. They fake the zone read, pass into the flat. That ball is dropped by the receiver in the flat is 12, Nate Martinez, the 5'3", 138-pound junior.
Good heads-up play, though, that time, and I believe that was number 36, Cole Seeley, from his linebacker position, going after that football. That's what they tell you. You never can tell what the referees are going to rule that. That could have been ruled a fumble. So good heads-up, good pursuit that time by Seeley.
Ball was a little behind Martinez, and low, had to make the adjustment, couldn't. But you're right there about the heads-upness to try to jump on it. Second down and 10 now for Calderon, who will hand the ball off to Johnson going left to right on a little sweep. Canyon has strung it out, and Johnson unable to turn the corner. Making the play is Antonio DeLeon from that outside linebacker position.
Got to wonder if that sweet momentum may be moving over to the Canyon side of the football, the Canyon side of the field.
Start to feel some buzz now in this stadium. The crowd starting to get into it, the band getting into it a little bit as well. San Marcos perhaps sensing that and starting to take their time. Now 15 on the play clock, game clock in the third quarter, now down under 7 minutes. On 3rd and 9, Calderon works out of the shotgun, back to pass. They look to set up a screen. Across the middle, the ball is delivered and caught. That's 82, Ronnie Perez out of the tight end position. The Cougars were disciplined on that screen look. Minimal gain to the 25, and it'll be 4th down and perhaps a field goal attempt upcoming.
Boy, were they good. I thought I had seen a 61 in the middle of that field, but these old eyes may be getting a little bit on the feeble side. But boy, just right at the moment he caught that football, he did shut him down. I do believe it was 61. I'm just not seeing him on the roster.
No sense of urgency for San Marcos. They actually have their punter out on the field, and the ball is resting at the Cougar 25. So this is interesting here. Alfredo Hernandez takes it. I have never seen a punt this close to the end zone. It is a high punt that bounces at the 5, takes a Rattler bounce, and goes sideways inside the 3. It is going to be a net of 22 and is downed inside the 5.
Oh, man.
Incredible. Roland, that is a 42-yard field goal. And we talked about Canyon a couple of possessions ago being stuck in that dead zone. That is not dead zone. That is almost red zone. And San Marcos elects to give the ball to Canyon via punt.
Well, let's see if Canyon can move that football. As we're doing Culpa Mias here this evening, I think I mistook a 61 for a 51. Let me give Josh Heiser the credit he's due for being right there on the spot to make that big stop just a couple of plays back.
Illegal procedure. There was a flag on that play. I did not see one, but illegal procedure is the indication against San Marcos. So this will knock them back. Should be to the 30. And Coach Muchagimba, I believe, is going to take another roll at the dice. You know San Marcos is going to punt it now. And perhaps you roll the dice and try to get better field position. Hope that punt goes into the end zone and you get better field position than the 3.
Well, I think that's a good call. That's good to move the ball out a little bit further for the Cougars. And, not only that, they have been getting good penetration there on special teams. They've been awful close to a couple of blocks.
They are in punch safe now. No return man in the back. They almost get to Martinez rushing 1. Hernandez. That ball bounces at the 12. And the penalty of 5 yards ultimately results in 3 yards of field position as this ball is down at the 6. Coming off the edge there for Canyon was 23, Cody Lees. He almost got to the punter again.
Yeah, Lees has been in on that punter quite a few times this evening that we've seen San Marcos punt the football. Lees has done a good job about getting in there. That's why I was thinking it could be.
Canyon desperately trying to crawl back into this football game. They scored on their last possession, a touchdown pass to Fabian Facundo to make it 27-7. And then after St. Marcos responded with a big run from Jamin Johnson, a touchdown saving tackle was required to prevent that. And what happened here? Here I am talking, and St. Marcos got brought back up offensively. Hernandez will have to punt this again. I guess there was some sort of illegal procedure. Another penalty assessed against San Marcos. Hernandez will put his right foot into it.
And that will win the end zone.
And this one goes, as Roland says, into the end zone. So, first of all, my apologies to our listening audience. Here I am, Roland, looking at you, looking at our statistician, the Washing Bear here.
No, don't look at me. They don't do that at home there, man.
Point is I took my eyes off the field, missed a penalty that was assessed against San Marcos. Re-punt, ball goes into the end zone. So after all of that, I am certain that the Cougar offense is taking the field and the ball is spotted at the 20-yard line.
You are correct, and I think that's probably what Coach Gamble was hoping for a couple of punts ago, was that they'd get out. And, of course, a little bit more breathing room there.
Ball at the 20 as opposed to the 6 and the 3. Handoff to Haney, who tries the left side of the Cougar line. Met immediately at the line of scrimmage, but drives forward to the 25. Good gain on first down for the hard-running Seth Haney.
Absolutely. Haney has done a good job running the football tonight. 10 carries for 68 yards. Been getting just about 7 yards a carry.
He's got to keep feeding them. Now 5 minutes here in the third quarter. Handoff to Haney. He'll try again. That left side, kind of up the middle. Off tackle. Excuse me, not off tackle. That's off center. To the 29, gain of 4. Should be 3rd and 1. Ball on the far hash. Cougars quick to the line again. One receiver left, one to the right. They have a tight end for a strong right look. Check that. That's 2 tight ends. They're in a set. Cougars 3 of 10 on 3rd down. This one manageable. Handoff to Haney. Up the middle. Some running room and some penetration across the 30. Enough for a Cougar first down, now to the 31 and a fresh set of downs.
He definitely got that.
Lane Young, the receiver here on the far side. They have Pape at that tight end spot here on the right side of the Cougar line. Receiver to the far hash. Haney to the right of Perez. Fake the handoff to him. Come out of the flat to Pape. He makes the catch at the 33, turns ahead across the 35 before being shoved out of bounds. I think they're going to spot him at the 36. It's a good gain there, setting up a second down.
Joshua Banda that time with the stop for San Marcos from his linebacker position.
Quickly the Cougars go. Handoff again to Haney. They try that same play to the left side. This time San Marcos is there. No gain as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 5 upcoming, another 3rd down for Canyon.
Banda comes over to hit him. Michael Vargas is who tied up Haney that time trying to carry the football.
It is 3rd and 5 for Canyon. Down 27-7 here in the third quarter. They have a little slant and go. Route to the outside. That ball is delivered and caught. It's Lane Young. Now into Rattler territory across the 40 and out of bounds. At the 36-yard line, what a play on 3rd and 5.
You know, Xavier Pettis just put that ball in there perfectly. There was no room for error, and he hit the target, I mean, spot on.
All those slants, and you beat them with the slant and up. I love it. 1st and 10 for Canyon from the 36. Back to pass is Perez. Plenty of time as he's just standing back there like a statue. Rolls to his right and fires it, and that ball delivered to our camera. And, executive producer Bo Wick is not going to be happy about that one. As I bet you whatever fell off that camera is expensive.
Oh, goodness.
But admire the accuracy there of Perez. I don't think any one of us could roll to the right and fire a shot and hit a camera that's on a pedestal like that.
Oh, and hats off to that offensive line.
A lot of time for him now. 2nd and 10. Back to pass. Perez comes back to the near side. Little curl route at the sticks. It's delivered and caught. It's Lane Young at the 25. As Xavier Perez keeps this chains moving. Ball at the 25 and another Cougar first down.
And he's feeling it right now. You can tell Xavier is feeling that rhythm, and he's finding his receivers.
3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. It's been well played by Canyon, both offensively and defensively. Down 27-7, looking to get back and make this a 2-possession ball game. 2 receivers either way as they stay in the ace look. Handoff to Haney up the middle. Thought there might be some running room there, but he's tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Good play there defensively by 46, Michael Vargas.
Absolutely. Also coming over to help him, that was Tristan Williams from his defensive line position. He may have grabbed the shoelaces that time to trip up Haney.
2nd and 9 for Canyon in the 24-yard line, going in left to right. They fake the ball to Haney. Perez rolling to his right. Fires it towards the backside of the end zone, and Fabian Facundo can't get to it. incomplete, some contact there as Fabian goes down to the ground, but the referees keep the flag in the pocket.
They did that time as well. Wow.
I'm with you. I'm speechless because if the ball was to the near pylon and delivered to Facundo, and Facundo looked like there was contact and he went down before the ball got there.
All I can say is I'm not down there on the field with their vantage point.
3rd and 9 for Canyon. Already converted on this drive, some third down conversions. They need another one here. 3rd and 9. Back to pass is Perez. Looking down the seam, fires it. That ball is caught by Pate after a deflection, and now he's fumbled the football inside the 5. A yard away from the goal line. Pate had it off a deflection for a wonderful catch, but then put the ball on the ground as he was turning towards the end zone. 1 yard shy of the goal line, and Canyon has turned the ball over for the second time.
That's heartbreaking, but I tell you what, Pate did come up with almost a miraculous catch. It seemed the ball was being batted away. He hauled it in, only to drop it, and the Rattlers have recovered the fumble.
Heartbreaking, Roland.
Absolutely. That was a heartbreak.
It was a low ball delivered. Didn't even think it was going to make it to Pate. The ball gets deflected up right into his breadbasket. And, his instinct, catch the ball, turn, run. And somehow down before he breaks the plane, the ball comes out. Worst field position for the night for San Marcos. They have it inside their own 1. Back to pass, Calderon. He'll roll to the right. Pursuit there for Canyon. Ball's delivered. That ball looked like it was low, but it is ruled a catch on the far sideline at the 8. The intended receiver is 88, Elijah Edwards, the 6'2", 180-pound junior.
Just paying attention to the football, bringing it into you. Good reception.
Gets them some breathing room here, setting up a 2nd down and 3 after the gain of 7. Trips receivers here to the near side as the ball is faked to Johnson. Calderon keeps up the middle across the 10. Has enough for a Rattler first down to the 12. And some more breathing room and a fresh set of downs. First and 10, San Marcos. Some time being bled off the clock here as the play clock has just started at 25 and ticking. Game clock is at 1.5 left in the 3rd quarter. San Marcos up 27-7 and driving. Ball at their own 12. Back to pass is Calderon. No, it's a handoff to Johnson. And Johnson's in the open field. Coming to the near sideline, trying to funnel him out of bounds. Slips as he crosses the 20-yard line, trying to turn upfield. In coverage there for Canyon was 12, Cooper Holm, the outside linebacker. Good job there, Roland, not letting Johnson break contain.
Absolutely. At least held him. He could have been much worse. So good job that time by Cooper Holm.
Enough, though, for a Rattler first down on the gain of 10 to the 22. Now 1 minute to go here in the 3rd quarter, and I think San Marcos is putting the quick hurry-up offense aside here for the sake of milking time off this clock. 2 receivers to the far side for Calderon. He'll fake the handoff, tuck it and run up the middle. Across the 25 as he somersaults forward across the 30 to the 31. It's going to be a gain of 9, 2nd and short.
That time Calderon executed it almost to perfection. Put it in your running back's breadbasket, bring it back out, and just take it up the middle yourself. That's what he's been so successful at doing, seems like all game long.
Well, what a benefit for Coach Mark Soto. You need to run the clock out in this ball game, and you have Johnson, who's now gone for 129 in tonight's ball game. Calderon takes a snap, rolls out to the right, fires downfield, and there's a wide open Rattler in Cougar territory. Makes the catch at the 45 and the 40. Finally tackled at the 35. I believe that's Julian Perez, the H-back, making the catch wide open. Nobody near him in cover.
Absolutely. That time he was all by himself, all by his lonesome. So you got to take your chances.
Of course, just as I was bragging about the running game, perhaps lulled Canyon to sleep as it did me, and you go over the top for some surprise. As the clock continues to run, as they reset the change, we head into the 4th quarter. 3 quarters in the books here at Cougar Stadium. Opening night of the new look Cougar Stadium. As the San Marcos Rattlers up 27-7. We'll step aside. You're listening to the Cougars Network.
Whether you're looking to build a new home, buy your first car, or follow your dream of being your own boss, let a neighbor help you. We understand your financial needs because we live and work here. Sage Capital Bank.
Welcome back to Cougar Stadium as we have entered the fourth quarter. New look Cougar Stadium, the red turf out. Wonderful new green turf in. A great look here at Canyon High School. Ben Campos, Roland Ruiz with you, with Austin Milam, the governor, our spotter statistician, Bo Wick, our executive producer. Reset the stage as we start the fourth quarter. San Marcos moving left to right, ball in Cougar territory at the Cougar 34. Handoff, no, it's fake. Calderon will take it up the middle. A lot of running room, and Calderon has split the defense. 10-5. Touchdown San Marcos. Prudy Calderon from 34 yards out.
He runs that play to perfection, faking to his running back, bringing the ball back into himself at the last possible minute. That middle opens up, and Calderon, what a night running the football.
189 yards on the ground for Prudencio Calderon, the guy they call Prudy. Man check out to kick the extra point. Bad snap. Does not get down. The ball goes up and goes under the goalpost. No good for the San Marcos Rattlers. 11 minutes, 53 seconds left to go. In the ball game, San Marcos extends their lead 33-7. Roland, let's keep it here. Certainly we could play the what-if game, but Canyon came out in that third quarter and seemed to be running on all cylinders. Defense played well, offense played well, good plays in the kicking game, but opening play of the fourth quarter, and you see why Prudy Calderon is one of the better quarterbacks here in the greater San Antonio, Austin metro area. You know, you're right. As you were mentioning, 10 carries with the football tonight for 188 yards. And let's not bat an eye to the fact that he's 11 of 22 passing the football for 158 yards. So he's done quite a good job with balancing his offensive output this evening. Then there's that, as they say. Totally overlooked that by Prudy Calderon. The scoring drive there, 6 plays, rolling 99 yards. The Rattlers go the length of the field in 2 minutes and 21 seconds. Of course, that field position was set up. And again, Roland, this seems to be the theme of the young year. The Cougars going in to score, turn the ball over, and the other team takes it on the next possession and scores.
They've got to find a way to finish off those drives.
But by my unofficial math, Roland, that's the fourth 14-point swing we've seen in 2 ball games. Play is stopped here before Hernandez is able to get the kickoff out, and I believe, is that a delay of game? I don't know. San Marcos was certainly taking their time to get to the kickoff area. You know, same theme as we had last year. It's not just a team in the suburb of Austin wearing purple. That's the same thing here. But like Cedar Ridge, Roland, San Marcos has thoughts of going deep in the playoffs, but their kicking game has been shaky, as Cedars Ridge was last week. 2 extra points missed here in this ballgame.
Absolutely. And that's something they're going to have to address and correct before, they have thoughts of going deep into the playoffs, as you mentioned.
Manchak with the kickoff. McKay settles under it at the 9-yard line. Coming to the far side and some running room across the 25. Reverses field, now coming to the near side across the 35-40. Into Rattler territory before he is forced back inside where the rest of the coverage team was. Good return there by Vance McKay as the Cougars are set up. 1st and 10 at the Rattler 45-yard line. There's a flag on the far side of the field, and 4 coaches are out there about midfield, and a flag at the 23. You know, the play and I guess the goal of kickoff coverage is just go down there as fast as you can and try to hit somebody. And Fabio Facundo was down there. We mentioned earlier, Roland, this game getting a little chippy, and perhaps the refs have said we've had enough of this.
Yeah, they've got to get control of this ball game, and frustration is got to be setting in, and maybe a little bit too much talking, a little bit extra celebration and things of that nature. But yeah, the referees have got to get control.
I think this was a little bit more serious than that. One, you had 4 Canyon coaches out there at midfield to go get Fabian Facundo. The flag was unsportsmanlike conduct, is going to be assessed against San Marcos, and the player, who we have not identified yet because our ref does not have a microphone on his chest, has been ejected from the ball game. So down one more man are the San Marcos Rattlers. Add 15 yards to an already great kickoff return, and the Cougars have the ball 1st and 10 at the Rattler 30-yard line.
Well, they've got excellent field position. They've got to take advantage of it.
That has been the theme of 2017.
Thus far,
has it not?
Absolutely. But you just know it's coming.
Also coming in 2 weeks is district, so growing pains for this Canyon team under new head coach Trenton Kirkland, trying to get these things ironed out before you face Wagner 2 weeks from now. Let's not overlook a road trip to face Madison next week. But the here and now is versus San Marcos, down 33-7. The handoff to Owen Worley on 1st and 10, trying to turn the corner, bounces off a tackle at 32, and does everything he can just to get back to the line of scrimmage, and does. No gain for Owen Worley, but a hard run there.
Absolutely. If I can pass along a couple of district scores for you right now, MacArthur leads Clemens 21-7. That's
a surprise.
Yeah, 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter there. Smithson Valley all over Anderson, 49-0. That's a third quarter score with 8 minutes left.
2nd and 10 at the 30-yard line. Perez back to pass from the far hash, comes to the near side, trying to get Pape on a little curl route. And that ball, check that is not Pape, that's 24, Isaiah Scott. Incomplete, it's going to set up 3rd and 10.
Marcus Hall back defensively that time for the Rattlers.
So we have Canyon San Marcos and Smithson Valley Anderson. So that is 2 matchups of District 27-6A and District 14-6A competing, closing the I-35 corridor. 3rd and 10 for Perez from the far hash. From the 30-yard line, back to pass. Pocket collapsing, steps up into it, and he is hit as he threw the football. Ball will go incomplete into the flat. I think the guy he was looking for was Lane Young. Hard to tell. But it'll be 4th and 10 for the Canyon Cougars. 11 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter, and the offense is staying down on the field.
Absolutely. You're down 26. You got to go for it. Got to get in the end zone somehow.
Let's check our playmakers. Fabian Facundo, the receiver here on the far side. In the slot on the far side is Trevor Pape. Owen Worley to the left of Perez. Lane Young to the far sideline. They fake it to Worley. Rattlers have a blitz on, and they have Perez, and they drop him.
Wow.
Big loss there. Back to the 43-yard line. Canyon once again turns the ball over on downs.
Omar King coming over to make the stop that time for San Marcos.
And San Marcos defensively rolling. Let's give them credit. Back against their wall, bad field position, and they're able to get a turnover on downs and ultimately force Canyon back 13 yards on that possession. Incredible.
And on trots the Rattler offense with just under 11 minutes left to go in the ball game this evening.
And a 33-7 lead for Prudy Calderon. From the 43-yard line, back to pass. The Cougars have him rustled out of the pocket. He tries to make something out of it. What a big hit coming up from the safety position by Zach Fansteel. Spins Prudy around across the 45. It's going to be shy of midfield at the 43rd. Check that 48-yard line.
Well, I guess sometimes in a case like Calderon, you got to say sometimes if you can't stop him, you just hope to contain him. And that's what that defense did on that particular play.
Well, it's such a great defensive effort. Collapsing the pocket, coming up, putting a big hit on the quarterback, and you look up and he still gained 5 yards. It's been that type of night for the Cougars defensively, trying to, it's a double-headed snake, if you will.
Absolutely.
For these Rattlers, and they're trying to cut the heads off and just having a tough night at it. 2nd and 5 for Calderon. He takes a step back, fires. That ball is deflected at the offensive line.
Guess who?
Number 14, Eric Taylor, leader in the clubhouse for player of the game for this Cougar defense, along with Zach Fansteel.
And he's had those hands up all night, swatting at anything that comes in his way.
Very good point, Roland. That might be the second or third block pass or deflected pass that he's had from that defensive end position. Stop the clock at 10 minutes, 2 seconds. Play clock now under 20 as the Rattlers are slow to get to the line. 2 receivers here to the near side. Ball at the 48 inside the interlocking CC logo at midfield. That to pass is Calderon. Far sideline, he heaves it. Facundo there in coverage, bats the ball away. There are flags. Ball is incomplete as he's trying to hit Elijah Akins, the 6'2", 162-pound senior receiver.
Now I can only guess what this call is going to be, but are my eyes playing tricks on me, or did Facundo actually turn around and look back at the football?
Yeah.
Seems like he did to me.
And there was some hand fighting, could have gone both ways. Roland, what I was surprised about, there's two things. One, for all the hand fighting we've seen both ways, this is the first time they've called pass interference. There have been a number of plays that they should have called it against San Marcos as the Cougars were going in. But not only that, but they threw that flag pretty early. Felt like before the ball was even released from Calderon's hands. It is called pass interference against Canyon. 15 yards puts the ball now in Cougar territory at the 37. First and 10, Calderon, ball in the middle of the field. 3 receivers to the left. Fake the handoff. Calderon keeps bottled up, and there's nowhere to go. Number 9, Martin Davis, the inside linebacker, bringing Calderon down for a loss of about 2.
Held him up, and Eric Taylor came over the top and finished him off that time.
A 1-2 punch for the Canyon defense there. Officially a loss of 1. Back to the 43. As we have a new quarterback that has checked in. So that was not Calderon, as the Washington Bear tells me here, our spotter statistician, that there was a quarterback change. Our new quarterback is number 5, Natividad Aldana, who will take the snaps here for San Marcos. 2 receivers either way for Aldana. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, gives the handoff to Ramos, who tries the left side, and the Cougars are there with about 4 defenders, knocking Ramos back 2 yards, back to the Cougar 40-yard line. Loss of 2. Now under 9 minutes in this ball game, 3rd and long for the Rattlers. Rudy Calderon is taking a seat, and Natividad Aldana, a new quarterback for San Marcos. Ball on the far hash, 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Ramos to the left of Aldana, who takes the snap, retreats back into Rattler territory under pressure. He's just going to heave it to the Canyon sideline. Does best to just get rid of the football there. Sets up 4th and 13 after good pressure there by the Cougar Cougar defensive line.
Well, I'll tell you, Ben, if Rudy Calderon's night is done, here's how he's going to wrap up. 11 of 23 passing for 158 yards and carrying the football. 11 carries for 193 yards and 2 touchdowns on the night. Seems like a productive night. Just another day at the office for Rudy.
Deep receiving for Canyon on the other side of this Hernandez punt is Rivera. Stands at the 10. It's a bad snap. It goes over the head of Hernandez. He's going to retreat back to the 30. Cougars are there. The ball comes out as he tries to punt it anyways. Scooping up at the 15-yard line is Facundo. He also puts the ball down inside the 10. It looks like a rugby scrum. And Canyon is finally going to jump on the ball at the 6. Here comes a late flag by the side judge, as rugby scrum is the only way I could think of that.
Absolutely.
Bad snap over Hernandez's head. The punter does not fall, and it scoops it up, tries to punt it, and the Cougars knock the ball out of his hands, and then you get your rugby scrum.
Yeah, I just couldn't get a handle on that football, just kind of squirting away there. See, here comes the call.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, the indication against Canyon. This is not offsetting. This is a penalty that's going to go against Canyon and Canyon alone. So instead of having it 1st and 10 at the 6-yard line, tack on those 15 yards, push Canyon back to the 21. Roland, though, you got to say that is great field position.
It's still great field position. Of course, you're not inside the 10-yard line, but still you take it.
Well, here's the other thing, and I like how the math is always in the critics' favor. One, Hernandez, the punter, could have just fell on the ball and it would have been at the 30, and it still would have been good field position. Sure. But I guess you knew that the Cougars could have had it at the 6, and that's why we're disappointed that the ball is at the 21. Canyon gets to the line, tries to run a play, but the referees stop play before this one develops. Issue with the clock. The clock is showing 8 minutes and 10 seconds in the 4th quarter. San Marcos on top 33-7. Canyon with some momentum after that special team snafu. Again, if you're just joining us, that's 2 block extra point attempts and a bad snap. Perez takes the zone read. Keeper, he'll go to the right side across the 15-10. Enough for a Cougar first down inside the 5 to the 4. Good run there by Xavier Perez. Back to the line are the Cougars. First and goal now inside the 4. Looking to go up tempo. Handoff goes to Worley. He'll try the right side, cuts upfield, dives forward to about the 2. Gain of 2 there by Owen. And the Cougars are inching closer. They'll stay in this formation. 2 tight end, a set with Orley in the backfield. Direct snap to Perez. He'll come to the left side. Flag in as Xavier Perez gets into the end zone. The flag thrown by the back judge. Let's see what this is. It's going to be a hold against Canyon.
Oh, God.
And this will take a score off the board.
Just heartbreaking.
Wherever you are with us tonight, I invite you to take a look into your eastern sky. This moon is beautiful.
Oh, yes.
It's a nice burnt orange Halloween look to the moon in the eastern sky. Canyon will. I'm sorry, I just needed to take a pause from football there.
That's okay.
I was very upset with that call from the referee, so I just needed to find beauty where I could.
There you go.
2nd and 12 from the 12, 2nd and goal. Perez takes it, fakes the handoff up the middle, looks to Pape in the end zone on a nice play action. Touchdown, Canyon.
Now that was nice. Fake to the running back, and you got Pape all by his lonesome in the end zone. Great job by Xavier that time to find him and get the football to him. 7:32 left to go in the ball game. And Canyon's putting some points on the scoreboard. They got to remember how to do this on through the remainder of the season.
Martinez for the extra point. Snap down, kick up. Kick is good. 7:32 left to go in the ball game. Canyon responds. Our score, San Marcos 33, Canyon 14. We'll step aside. You're listening to Cougars football on the Cougars Network.
The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels. Our modern and architecturally impressive building is more like an art gallery than a dealership. With an extravagant showroom floor and customer lounge, with over 500 vehicles in stock, we have the ability to deliver the best savings possible to meet your budget needs. It's our pleasure to serve you in New Braunfels and the surrounding Hill Country communities. The all-new Nissan of New Braunfels, you've got to see this place.
Compost Roland Ruiz with you back at Cougar Stadium. The scoring drive there for Canyon was 3 plays, 6 yards, 42 seconds off the clock. A 12-yard touchdown pass from Xavier Perez to Trevor Pape off a play action is your scoring play. 7:32 left to go in this ball game, and Canyon has made this a 3-possession ball game. So Roland, big picture here, you got to ask yourself, if you're a Canyon fan, 3 possessions, are you even going to get the ball 3 more times? Perhaps that's going to decide whether or not we see a conventional kickoff or an onside kick.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Do you try and just put you 10 yards and fall on it? And I'd say down, what, you down 19?
I said 21, but it is 19. Either way, it's 3-possession ball game. Jacob Martinez has the ball teed up in an onside look.
Certainly.
The hands team is in for San Marcos. So here we go with the onside kick. Martinez sends this one screaming towards San Marcos. It is corralled by an up man. That is Scooter Brown, who scoops it up and falls down. So the onside kick is for naught, and Canyon will send out their defense. San Marcos will get the ball with good field position at the Rattler 44.
And while the offense takes a field, I'll pass along a couple other scores from the area. Clemens now on top of MacArthur, 28-21, fourth quarter just underway in that one. Smithson Valley leads Anderson 56-0. That's about 5 minutes left in that one. We'll pass along some more later.
Incredible machine Smithson Valley has up there in them hills, as they say. 1st and 10 for San Marcos. The handoff goes to Ramos, the backup running back, trying to string it out to the left side of the Rattler offensive line. The Cougars are there. It's going to be a loss of 1, 2nd down and 11.
A couple of others. Here's an interesting one for you. The Steel Knights and the Lake Travis Cavaliers all tried at 24, and that's just underway in the fourth quarter.
second big ball game for Lake Travis, losing last week to a District 27 6A brother Judson. Now they take on the Steel Knights. It's nice to see, we're going to cover those two teams here, and we know how difficult those teams could be. It's nice to know that as you're playing in this district, you're playing with the cream of the crop in Texas high school football. Bat to pass on 2nd and 10 is Aldana, the quarterback, trying to the far side curl route is over his intended receiver, Elijah Edwards, incomplete, 3rd down.
Facundo back there defensively once again to break that one up. He's done a good job on both sides of the football tonight, catching the football on the offensive end and playing some good defensive back on the defensive side of the football. You got to love those players that play on both sides of the ball.
Iron Man, and he's
Iron Man, I love it. Yeah,
he's played well. You're always worried, are they going to have enough in the tank towards the end of the ball game? But Fabian Facundo showing no signs of that, still playing hard. 3rd and 11 now for San Marcos. They have a little screen set up. Aldana dumps it. Canyon's there as Ramos is breaking a couple of tackles, but a punishing hit at the end as Josh Heiser finishes him off. It's going to be a loss of 1 on the screen pass. Good defense there for Canyon.
Yeah, the receiver there ran into a couple of Canyon defenders, as you saw, kind of bounced off of them like a pinball, but Heiser comes over to wrap it up.
Canyon has all 3 timeouts. Clock is at 6 minutes, 10 seconds. It is a 3-possession ball game with Canyon down 19, and Isaiah is back at his 25-yard line. Hernandez in deep punt. It was a bad snap over his head last time. We'll see what happens here. Ready for the snap. It's a good one. He'll take it. Canyon has a block on it. They almost get to it. Rivera comes up to make a catch at the 33. Nowhere to go as finally he gets some momentum at the end. He had about 4 Rattlers around him. It looked like he was going nowhere at the 32. The ball ends up being spotted at the 33. So 3 on the return there for Rivera after a punt of 29. 5:41 left in this ball game. Canyon down 19. Again, 3 possessions. So you got to ask yourself, will Canyon get it 2 more times after this? Well, we've seen this offense being able to move the ball down the field. They need it here. 1st and 10. Hand off to Haney. Tries the left side. There's some running room there across the 40. He is hit low and high. Coming in low was Joshua Banda, the outside linebacker. Not after a gain of 7, though.
I love how Haney just carries the ball, hits somebody, and then just bounces off of him, spinning. Pick up extra yardage.
2nd and 3 now at the Cougar 42. Play clock down to 20 now as Haney adjusts from the left side to the right side of Perez. Bat to pass with the pump fake is Perez trying to get Lane Young loose. The ball is delivered and off the fingertips of Lane Young. Nice ball dropped in there by Perez, just off at the fingertips.
I tell you what, Xavier's found his target and just threaded that needle, for lack of a better cliche, a couple of times. I mean, just hit it perfectly. There's another one, just couldn't haul it in.
3rd and 3 for Canyon. Hand off to Haney. He'll try up the middle, and he's got some running room. Spins out of the tackle at the 48, now into Rattler territory at the 49. That's good, hard running by Seth Haney.
Oh, he's an exciting young man to watch that football, run that football, I tell you. He get some numbers from him here in just a bit.
Rattlers late substituting. This is a free play here for Canyon as they have too many men on the field. Perez, pocket breaks down. He'll come here to the near side. Just going to chunk it down the field looking for Facundo, and there's nothing there. Rattlers were really late trying to sub off a defensive lineman. Canyon snapped it in time. So this should be an illegal substitution. Too many men on the field for San Marcos, and that is the indication.
There you go. Move it up. Get Canyon even closer to pay dirt there. 15 carries, 82 yards thus far on the night for Haney. We're talking about him running the football. He is exciting to watch.
Well, and here's the thing, Roland. If you don't think he is important to this Cougar offense, there's under 5 minutes left to go in this ball game. We need the ball back 2 more times, but the best plays we have right now are handing the ball to Haney.
And there you go.
And we give it to him again across the 40. He is stuck at the 47, but he is still driving forward, ladies and gentlemen. What a hard run by Seth Haney. Stuck beyond the 1st down marker, keeps his legs driving, and gets Canyon down to the 36 and a fresh set of downs. They'll stick in this 2 tight end look. Back to pass is Perez on first down. Curl route simple to Lane Young, who slips a tackle to 33, dives across the 30 to the 29. Should be enough for a Cougar first down. Check that. They're going to bring him back to the 31. I guess he did step out of bounds. Either way you slice it, it's a good gain of about 6. 4 minutes left to go in this ball game. Canyon desperate to get a score and try to get the ball back. Hand off to Haney. Coming to the near side with some running room. Gets a good block by Lane Young across the 20 and the 15. Tackled from behind at the 12. Stop the clock for the first down. Tackle made by 6 to Kai Magic.
And there he is. He's finally broken the 100-yard mark running the football this evening. Seth Haney, 17 carries, 104 yards. Popped off about 6 yards a carry.
Challenging Eric Taylor for Player of the Game nominations for sure. Hand off to Haney up the middle. Makes another man miss at the line of scrimmage. Now inside the 10. Is going to be marked at the 8. Good run there when first contact was made at the line of scrimmage. Downside clock continues to go here. 3.5 left to go in this ball game. Canyon down 33-14. Give the ball to Haney. No, it's fake. Rattlers had keyed in on him. Perez takes the ball out, rolls to the left, inside the 5, dives to the 3. Late flag comes in. And the early indication is a hold against Canyon. The penalties were relatively penalty-free last week. Only 2 for Canyon. Assessed them 15 yards, and that is not the case in tonight's ball game.
No, as a matter of fact, we had the stat here. We'll get that back momentarily, and I'll pass that along to you.
Still playing with our new toys and equipment up here in the press box. Getting everything squared away.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 16. The good thing about the penalty is it stopped the clock momentarily. 3 minutes and 5 seconds left. 2nd and 16 from the 18. Hand off to Facundo on a jet sweep, left to right. Makes a man miss at the 15. Good move there. Still on his feet as he spins out of the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown, Canyon. Fabian Facundo on the jet sweep gets into the end zone after breaking, 1,000 tackles.
You know, we were talking about that a few minutes ago, Ben. I like that young man. I really do. He plays hard on both sides of the football, and right there's another example, running the football.
That is a conservative estimate on how many tackles Fabian Facundo broke on that play.
Extremely conservative, my friend.
Orrin Worley is late getting back onto the field for this extra point tie, and Coach Muchagimba is going to take a timeout. There was 18 seconds left on that clock. This extra point is critical. And I think actually, Roland, well, let's see here. Let's try to do the math. It's 33-20, it's 13. Either way you look at this, it's a 2-possession ball game. If you go for 2 in this situation, it's going to be 11. So you got to ask yourself, is it even worth going for 2 in this situation?
I'd try the extra point and onside kick. You got to get it into the end zone twice.
It's still going to be 2 possessions. The only thing I could think of, if you go for 2 and you make it 11, you're going to need a touchdown, but that touchdown now can become a 2-point conversion touchdown to give you 8, and then a field goal after that will give you the tie. So you can't do that if it's 13. You'll need the 2 touchdowns. You can't do it if it's 12. You'll need the 2 touchdowns. Roland, this is just me talking.
And that's the beauty of this game, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that, you can come up with all these scenarios. Absolutely. But let's see what's happening. They're going to take your advice there, Ben.
A go for 2 here. They send a man in motion. That's Facundo from left to right. The handoff. No, it's Perez on a little, he'll back to pass now. He's scrambling, trying to make something out of nothing. Comes to the left side, will sneak into the near side pylon. The referee said no good. How is that no good, Roland? It looked like he scooted into the end zone there.
I think they may have knocked him out of bounds, like just inside the 1 or something.
Interesting.
I don't know that he got the pylon. He did get the pylon.
Well, it was so casual that he got the ball. Now, here's the thing. He goes to the near side. We're seeing this replay on the new scoreboard, it looks like he goes over the pylon with one leg out of bounds and one leg in the end zone. However, Roland, from what I could see, the ball is on his outside hand. So if I'm the ref and I'm looking at the pylon and I see his outside leg straddle the pylon out of bounds and he has the ball on that outside arm, perhaps then I deduce that he did not cross the pylon with the ball while his feet were in play. Now, you know, it's one of those things, you could dive for the pylon, the ball has to cross on the inside, and you become into that discussion, but it goes down as a 2-point conversion failed for the Canyon Cougars, which keeps the score at 13-point difference, 33-20.
Well, the ensuing onside kick to come, you can just imagine.
It was a 10-play scoring drive covering 67 yards. However, the time of possession is what matters there. 2 minutes and 48 seconds off the clock. Here's your onside kick as Martinez sends this one to the near sideline. It won't even travel the 10 yards needed. So it goes out of bounds. They'll call it illegal procedure against Canyon. I believe San Marcos will just decline the penalty. And, well, I don't know what happens there. You can't take it at that spot. Or can you?
Yeah, by all indications, they're going to.
They're not going to make Canyon kick off again. That is for sure.
Oh, they're going to spot this at the standby.
5 yards from when the ball went out of bounds, which was the Cougar 46, so they'll spot it at the Cougar 41. First and 10. San Marcos with a 13-point lead, 2 minutes and 53 seconds. We have not seen Prudy Calderon for 3 drives now, as Aldana has the ball, hands off to Ramos, who goes up the middle to the 35-yard line. Pickup of 6 on first down, and Coach Muchigimba will take the second Cougar timeout.
Well, 2:46 remaining, and it's certainly not over yet, but the Cougars have done their utmost to make this interesting. After what seemed like they weren't even in the ball game, they've at least shown the presence and the want-to get back in this game, and that's exactly what they've done.
You know, we will applaud them for that, and the Cougars still playing hard and have an outside chance of still forcing something here, but the downside of fighting back and crawling into this ball game, Roland, is that you start looking at the drive sheets that we have up, and I count an interception, a missed 29-yard field goal, 3 turnover on down, check that, 4 turnover on downs, and a fumble at the 1. You can't tell me that this Cougar team is going to look at film tomorrow and not have a single what if creep into their head.
Oh, absolutely.
Second down and 4 for San Marcos. Cougars jump, flag stay in the pocket as Alderon comes here to the near side. There's a flag late. Aldana comes down to the 31 before being brought out of bounds by Cooper Holm.
Holding the call that on San Marcos, so that's going to back it up. And you know, Ben, you were mentioning that, and the miscues, as there were miscues in this ball game. However, you've seen as they've recently got the ball down deep into San Marcos territory, they've been able to convert. They've actually been able to put the ball into the end zone, and that's something they've got to take with them as well to say, look, we've done this before, we can certainly do it again, even in bigger games.
Second and 4, team for the scoreboard did not set it, and so I'm reading the scoreboard. And I look down on the field and said, that's not 4, luckily it's 14. As there's an issue with the clock that reads 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Well, Roland, here's from my experience of watching film after a football game and after a loss. The good thing about it is, as you're watching film and you're going over things, it does not show time, it does not show clock. So on a play-by-play basis, what you'll see is, you know, the Cougars could hang with this team, a team that is playing in a district out of Austin that is picked to represent that district in the playoffs, and a team that wants to make and can make a deep run into the playoffs. So where does that leave the Canyon Cougars? Well, you're not being outclassed here, and it simply is a matter of a play or two.
Exactly.
In situational football, that is the difference in this ball game. But what I like from what we've seen from this ball game is a team that didn't quit, a team that's still fighting, and a team that still believes with 2 minutes and 39 seconds there's an outside chance to win this ball game.
That's right. And if they can keep that mentality, that's certainly going to help them somewhere down the line when it comes to district play or perhaps next week.
Madison Mavericks are next week's opponent, but let's get through this one here. 2 minutes, 39 seconds in this ball game. Aldana in the shotgun as play is stopped again. Right when he took the snap, too. We'll see what the referees have to say about it. And what it is San Marcos taking a timeout.
Well, while they take that timeout, I'll pass along a couple of scores from some district games. Clemens leads MacArthur now 28-21. That's with 6:43 left to go in the fourth quarter. Hope you have your seatbelts on for this one. Steele and Lake Travis, they're knotted at 31. 2 minutes and 28 seconds left to go in that ball game. East Central trails San Benito 37-18. That's what just a little bit more than 7 minutes left to go in that ball game. Wagner leads Taft 26-24. That's with a little over 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. New Braunfels 55, Seguin 35. That's with 2:21 left to go in the third quarter is there. And we got a final. It's 56-0 Smithson Valley over Anderson this evening.
That might be final by mercy. Second and 14 for the Rattlers. They keep it on the ground. It's Ramos across the 45 to the 43, gain of 2, and the Cougars take their final timeout here with 2:35 left to go. So this will set up a third down and a 13. The Cougars scoreboard shows them with one timeout left. My calculation has that being the third one that they've taken, but I'm gun shy here after giving a couple of bad statistics, so I'll just go by the scoreboard tally, and we'll say that the Cougars have one timeout left. You mentioned the Taft Raiders playing a district opponent tonight. That is actually San Marcos is going to stay in this district as they are here at Canyon tonight. They will come back to Comal County to take on the New Braunfels Unicorns next week at New Braunfels High School before staying on the road to visit those Taft Raiders in San Antonio. They finish out non-district versus McCollum in San Antonio. That one a home game for them before getting into their district schedule of Del Valle, Aikens, Manor, Austin Anderson, who's taking on Smithson Valley tonight and lost, and then finally riding it out against Austin Bowie. On 3rd and 14, Aldana takes a high snap, bobbles it, and the Cougars are there to force him back. He'll take a sack at the 46. Good pressure by that Cougar defensive line.
Yeah, bad snap that time, and here comes Eric Taylor and company to sack the Rattler quarterback.
In deep punt is Hernandez, Alfredo Hernandez, who's already had a snap sail over his head today. The play clock is at now 10. The game clock at 2 minutes. So that gives you a difference there of what's going on. Hernandez standing at his own 40, taking the deep snap. It's a low one, but he fields it. Canyon brings a rush, can't get to it. It's a high spiraling punt that turned over, and Rivera takes it at the 16 with a fair catch. 1:45 left to go in the ball game. Canyon down 2 possessions, 33-20, has the ball at their own 17-yard line. That is a 29-yard punt. Probably the best aspect of that punt, Roland, was the hang time. Forces Rivera to take a fair catch as the coverage team came down.
Yeah, got that. Good pressure again coming from that front line of the special teams play for Canyon.
Is there early season magic for this Canyon offense? 2 receivers either way as play has been halted again. I'll tell you what, Roland, let's step aside as we get a timeout here. We haven't taken one here. 1:45 left to go in the ball game. Our score 33-20 in favor of San Marcos. You're listening to the Cougars Network.
Well, I don't think so.
It's a good deal, right?
Coach, this is a 2538, 37 horsepower, most lift capacity of any tractor in its class, and no depth fluid.
Well, the best part is it's the right color.
Welcome back to Cougar Stadium. Cougars have the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 16-yard line, moving right to left, down 33-20, minute 45 left in this ball game. Two receivers to the near side for Perez. Fakes it to Haney, goes to the far sideline on a little hitch route. That ball is caught by Rivera, unable to get out of bounds though, so the clock will run. Now approaching a minute and a half after a gain of 7, but an injured Rattler limping off the field. So we have some substitutes here in the secondary for San Marcos. Two receivers to the far sideline. Perez bat to pass, looks towards that far sideline. Little hitch route off the hands of Callan Farr, and Roland, I got to tell you, that's a good miss there. Would have been dropped back for a loss, might not have even gotten out of bounds if he did catch it. So it'll remain 2nd down and 3, and the clock stops at 1 minute and 20 seconds. Perez back in the shotgun, Haney to the right, and in this situation, I can't imagine a handoff, and they don't. Come to the near side on a slant, that's Young. The ball goes off his face mask into the air, and that ball's intercepted. Coming back the other way for San Marcos is Terrence Soto. We've called his name a lot tonight for his hard hits. He takes this one on a pick 6 into the end zone. Touchdown San Marcos, and perhaps the nail in the coffin for tonight's ball game.
You know, but how many times, Ben, have we seen this evening that situation occur? The ball will hit the receiver in the hands. They can't bring it down, can't bring it around. They tap it up, and you know that was bound to happen sooner or later.
Never want to tell a quarterback to take something off of it. That ball did have some venom on it,
right,
as it got through Young's hands, but it hit him straight in the face mask and goes straight up in the air, and that is prime opportunity for a pick 6. Bad snap, down, kick up, and blocked as Fabian Facundo, our man on a short list for player of the game, comes in off the edge and blocks it. Tips it enough to the right, it's going to be no good. So 1:08 left to go in this ball game. San Marcos 39, Canyon 20. We'll step aside here on the Cougars Network. You're listening to Cougar Football.
Where Zaxby's is from. Some like it classic. Some like it saucy. For others, it's gotta be crispy. But everyone loves the flavor that brings us together. And whether you like it spicy or old school, you'll like it even more. Because Zaxby's 5 fan favorites are now just $5.99 each. Friends, family, flavor, Zaxby's.
Welcome back to Cougar Stadium. Fans starting to file out. A minute 08 left in this ball game. Had a good crowd make the drive from San Marcos. Not much of a drive to make on the south side of York Creek to get to Cougar Stadium, but the traveling fans did do so.
That may be because gas was a little easier to find tonight there,
well,
man. You know what I mean?
What a
Thank goodness.
What a difference a week makes.
Ooh, you ain't kidding.
And, you know, something's curious, and I just don't know why they draw districts the way they do. Surprisingly, I would have thought that San Marcos would just naturally be in the districts of the New Braunfels teams, of Comal County teams, just based upon proximity, now that they're on the same, classification level. But somehow San Marcos, they don't make a Buda Hayes, Kyle Lehman, San Marcos, New Braunfels Canyon, Smithson Valley type district. San Marcos gets funneled up into Austin, and even though they are in close proximity to the Kyle and Buda schools, they're not even in their district. They get funneled up into North Austin. It's a weird way UIL draws it up, but
it's something different every time they realign districts. It's I don't know.
It won't stop the Rattlers from coming down to New Braunfels to play Canyon. And as we mentioned, they're taking on the Unicorns next week at Unicorn Stadium.
Right. Natural rivalries, you figure.
I think so. As McKay will take this kickoff to the far sideline at the 5. Coming up at the 20-25, gets a block across the 30, finally tripped up as somebody grabbed his leg at the 33. As he falls to the 35, it's a good field position for Canyon The lead has been extended to 19, 3 possessions, 39-20, 1 minute left to go in this ball game.
Maybe time to, of course, see if you can make it a little more respectable on the scoreboard.
It's a 16 district that San Marcos has, so they'll have some time before district play starts. But one more non-district game for Canyon, as Seth Haney will take the handoff, still running hard here to the near sideline, upended at the 40 to the 41. That's a good hard run for Haney. The downside of it being a 3-possession ball game and seeing the writing on the wall, you're running out of time. The upside here is you can still give the ball to Haney.
Yeah, that is true, and he's had an impressive night running the football. I know we've been talking about the running game of the San Marcos Rattlers this evening. It is what it is, and it's been impressive as well. But you take nothing away from Seth Haney. What a job he's done carrying the ball.
3rd and 3 for Canyon. Haney now to the left of Perez. He'll fake it to him, come on a quick slant to Jacob Garcia, makes a man miss into Rattler territory across the 45. Enough for a Cougar first down to the 44. It's a nice slant route there by the young sophomore receiver, Jacob Garcia. 5'10", 155-pound sophomore. Another gun, Perez, bat to pass, looking to the far sideline, lets it go. Has a man in double coverage, and that ball is in and out of the hands of his receiver. That is Callan Farr, another sophomore on this Cougar offense, and that will be the last play of the ball game. Rolling our final score, San Marcos 39, Canyon 20. Step aside on the Cougars Network. When we come back, post-game coverage of Cougar football. You're listening to the Cougars Network.
Cougars Network is your home for Canyon High School athletic coverage. Don't miss live game broadcasts, weekly coaches shows, stories from inside the field house, and more. Log on to cougarsnetwork.com to stay up to date on everything from the Den to the Red Zone. Welcome to Cougars Network.
Ben Campos, Roland Ruiz with you alongside Austin Mapache Milam, our spotter statistician, executive producer Bo Wick. We welcome you to post-game coverage of tonight's ball game. Our final score, San Marcos 29, Canyon 20. And Roland, Canyon fought their way back into it, gave us perhaps thoughts of hope that they could have pulled this one out. Ultimately, what that does to me, Roland, is begs the question of what if. So many opportunities left on the field for Canyon in tonight's ball game. Although the score, you look at it, 39-20, you might think, well, maybe one team was decidedly better. I got to tell you, play-by-play probably wasn't the case. Once again, your final score, the San Marcos Rattlers 39, the Canyon Cougars 20. Now for my broadcast partners this evening, Roland Ruiz. For the Governor, Austin Milam, our spotter statistician. For our camera crew working tonight, Jenna Creel, JJ Trevino, and Lois West. And for our executive producer, Bo Wick, I am Ben Campos, wishing you a good night and a safe drive home from Cougar Stadium in New Braunfels, Texas.